right, welcome to About That Ender, Mr. Bruce Rodela and Adam Emery.
That's me, and that's him.
And that's him. Thank you guys for coming down.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Or
no problem. That traffic over the 580 was pretty gnarly, though, man.
Where exactly you guys coming from?
Halfway through, I was like, fuck, am I really doing this right now? But I listened to the nightclub earlier, and Brandon Turner had to come all the way from San Diego, so I guess it's not so bad coming from Dublin, California.
From Dublin?
Right? Yeah.
All right, so it's an hour and a half.
Yeah, plus we stopped to get we'll talk about in a little bit. I'm changing up all my gear from Nikon to Fuji Micro Four Thirds.
Okay.
So every day's a test shoot.
Oh, shit.
So stopping at Elk Grove to get a couple tricks, breaking it up.
Gear test and some tricks.
Shit.
Well, let's just dive right into that. So you're a professional photographer, among other things.
Among other things,
so
yeah.
Give me the gamut. Who are you? What do you do?
If you want to start from the beginning, we can.
That's what we're here for, man.
All
I want to
right.
know.
Now it's gonna go way back. This might be one of your longer episodes.
Who is Bruce Rodela? Let's hear it.
So, after a divorce battle when I was 8 years old, we moved back to California, and there was a fucking skateboard in the garage with clay wheels. This is 1975. So instantly, have all these troubles going on with mom and dad, hop on the skateboard, troubles are completely gone.
Oh, yeah.
But it was a board with clay wheels. So I got pretty good at it, ended up downhilling. By the time you got down to the bottom of the hill, your wheels were all the way gone, bearings flying out your board. So luckily, urethane wheels came out, and that's where it all started. Haven't stopped since. 1975 till today.
And where did you come from before you came to California?
South Dakota. Farm boy. Putting firecrackers up pigs' asses and riding them.
Wearing shit,
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah, it was gnarly, man. I'm just blessed that I didn't stay there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What the fuck would happen? I'd probably have 12 fucking kids, be fat as fuck, arthritic. I mean, I am arthritic, but that's from something good, skateboarding. You know what I mean? So that's how it all started, man. Good story since, this is a skateboard podcast. I lived right down from a place called Thrasher Park. Okay?
Yeah.
Empty pool. 1975, 1976, 1977. For all you guys out there that listened to the Tommy Guerrero nightclub podcast a few weeks ago, that was the era. He was talking about a lot of flex skateboards, and when he started, all those dudes would come from the city and skate Thrasher Skate Park. I'm talking Tommy Guerrero, Bryce Knights, Tony Guerrero. I think even Kevin Thatcher was there. Me and Bryce Knights became fast friends. We both went to Catholic school, so we had the same days off. So we'd skate this pool, Thrasher pool.
Yeah.
While all the Dogtown guys were getting glory for it, trust me, man, people in Northern California doing the same fucking thing. If not as good, some people better. You know what I'm saying? Tommy Guerrero was fucking amazing. All those guys were amazing, man. Some technical difficulty?
We left the fan on, sorry.
Oh, shit.
Sorry, I was wondering what that noise was.
No
sorry,
worries.
people. So if you were wondering what that humming, that buzz was in the background, sorry, we had a fan on. My bad.
So all these city boys would come over, and we were pool rats, man. And there's a local dude named Tim Marding. I think this name's been coming up a lot lately. But he was our local fucking hero, man. And the backside rock and roll. Now, this is how old this shit was. The rock and roll wasn't even invented. There's like cess slides, maybe a grind, a carve. Everyone was a shaka bra. You know what I'm saying? The backside rock and roll was invented at that fucking pool. Taken to Newark Skate Park later. Dude, this is prehistoric, man. That's when I started. Prehistoric days. And I asked Bryce the other day, I saw Bryce, where did Thrasher Magazine come from? All you fools were skating Thrasher Pool, including the editor, Kevin Thatcher. And he didn't even know, but it had to have something to do with it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they didn't know it was called Thrasher?
No, they didn't name it after it. Huh. But somehow all the guys that started Thrasher were skating Thrasher Pool. But it was just a badass time, man. Skateboarding was so fucking awesome, man. No one was doing it. You got your ass kicked for it. You know what I'm saying? People would throw shit out the window at you when you're skating by.
Yeah.
It was a radical time, man. So that's where it all started for me. And it just blossomed from there. I got sponsored eventually. Never stopped.
By who'd you get sponsored by?
Well, the first people I got sponsored by is a shop called Custom Line Skateboards in Castro Valley. A lot of the old schoolers are going to listen to this because I'm going to blast it out to everybody. They'll remember that. It's the only shop in the Bay Area, I think, besides probably Bill's Wills, maybe.
Yeah.
Fuck, I don't know. My head's hazy. You know what I'm saying? And then after that, Z-Flex had a Northern California team. And I was the little Grom that got some wheels and some boards. You know what I'm saying? And then we went from there. That was about my glory. Dislocated my elbow, stopped skating for a few years, and then got back into it when street skating was super big. And, you know, as far as the photography thing goes, I just kept getting fucking hurt, man.
Yeah.
I was one of those skateboarders that was more dumb than good. You know what I mean, man? All guts for the glory. You know what I'm saying? Didn't think no one thinks how you're gonna feel when you're fucking 51 years old. You know? Yeah. You're young. You don't think, fuck, one day.
That doesn't matter right now.
I'm not gonna be able to walk. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, when you're a kid, I'll be doing this forever. And you really think you are going to be doing it forever. But I took my elbow out really bad. The doctor told me that I was going to get it cut off if I dislocated again. You know what doctors do, right?
Yeah, it's scary.
I think it was bullshit.
They try to scare you, man.
You're an elbow guy. You got the same story. He's smart enough, though. He kept wearing a brace. I didn't. And I ended up dislocating it 13 more times after that.
13 more times?
13 more times.
You still got it, though.
You keep I just got surgery a couple years ago. I'll tell you about that later. God, where's my train of thought going? So I stopped skating for a little bit, came back when street skating was like starting to
90s.
Yeah, you know, and Animal Chin, and like we were going to Embarcadero before Embarcadero was Embarcadero. You know, another great time to be a fucking skateboarder, man.
That's
you know,
right when I started.
You know what I'm saying? What a great time to be a skateboarder, man. Everything was getting invented. I mean, it was just the coolest shit out there. But again, just kept getting hurt, man. Knees started to come into play.
And how old were you in the 90s? Just
fuck, don't make me do math, man. I was born in 1966, kids. So if you guys want to do the math
you were
at
like
home.
30s.
No, younger than
late
that.
20s.
Yeah, late 20s.
Okay.
Man.
Early 90s, yeah, it'd be late 20s.
Yeah, late 20s, whatever that is. I'll do the math later. If it doesn't come out right, I will be telling you to change that.
Yeah.
But, well, no, it had to be younger than that. You want to stop? Who's good at math here, man?
Stuff the calculator.
Who's good at math here? Whatever it was, I knew I wasn't going to be a pro skater, you know, and I...
teens. So I just did math.
Yeah.
So in 96, you would have been 30.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So this was way before, man. This was way before. When did Animal Chin come out?
Late 80s.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I could be wrong on that.
No, I
tell you were released.
I felt like it was mid 80s, like right after I was born in 84.
Somebody out there fact check this and get back to us, okay? Yeah. I maybe should have had all this written down. You know what I'm saying?
Comments.
Yeah.
But you know, I knew I wasn't gonna be pro. You know, I thought I was good enough, but it wasn't gonna happen. And I hooked up with this girl. I really wanted to impress her, and I was a total loser. You know what I'm saying? Had no prospects in my life besides skating and getting fucked up. You know what I mean? And just hanging out with the boys. I met this girl, and I'm like, fuck, man, I got to get my life together, man. And her dad was a professional photographer. So I go, well, I'll be a photographer. And Bryce I respected Bryce and all the other photographers of that time. You know what I'm saying? Grant Britton, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, well, I'm going to be a fucking photographer. So that's how I got into the photo thing, man. Skating all those years, getting too hurt, having to do something with my life. Photography was it.
And staying in the skate world.
And staying in the skate world was key, definitely.
So, what was your first camera?
My first camera was a Nikon FE. I believe it was a Nikon FE or Nikon FE2.
Is that film?
Oh, fuck yeah.
I was going to say.
There, too. Digital. No, it was...
Real to real.
I was film... Jeez Louise, for at least 10, 12 years, man. Yeah. You know, and then when digital came out, I thought it was a joke, right? You know what I mean? What?
You're already stuck in your ways.
You can just plug it in your computer and edit? Fuck that. I'm in the dark room for 6 hours.
For real, that's
sweating my balls off like I'm doing right now.
That's a lot.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Digital. I didn't get into digital until 5 or 6 years till it was legitimately out.
Oh,
you know what I mean? And then once I got into it, I didn't turn back. I'm like, what? You could sit at home in your underwear, smoke a joint.
I don't have to buy film.
And you can look at your product while you're shooting it, man.
Yeah,
you know,
that was huge.
Huge, man. And as a matter of fact, when I first started shooting photos, my first photo was of Joe Lopes for a a company called Confusion.
Hell of a first photo, huh?
Yeah, well, I grew up in San Leandro. I guess I didn't tell you guys that's where Thrasher Park was, in San Leandro.
Isn't that where the new one is still?
Yeah, Thrasher Park's still there.
The pool was right there.
Yeah.
At Thrasher Park. The pool was right there. Yeah, just over a little bit. And Joe Lopes is from San Leandro. And so he had the half pipe and the whole deal. So through a bunch of other street skaters that knew Lopes, I got to know Lopes, this, that, and the other, got into photography, and he needed someone to shoot an ad. This was past Schmidt Sticks days, though. This was when he was a little chunky and not, the Joe Lopes that he was, doing 6-foot backside airs, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But he needed an ad, went to the San Jose warehouse, had a vert ramp there, and I had no fucking idea what I was doing. Seriously.
Point and shoot.
First time shooting with the flash.
Never
shot with the flash before. Yeah.
First time?
Had no idea what I was doing.
Was it on camera or off camera?
One on camera, one off camera.
So you're using a 2-camera flat?
With those, I asked
the
a
first
friend.
time?
I borrowed the equipment. You know what I'm saying? I asked a friend how to do it. He wrote it down, and I did it. Have it this many feet away, blah, 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 blah. These little peanut slaves. I mean, it's nowhere near what's going on now, man. Like the setup that I'm getting into now. I mean, fucking shit is so easy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it worked out. The flash worked. And I'm not saying the photo was great, but it was good enough for an ad in Thrasher. And I thought, fuck, man, I'm killing this shit. But, dude, I wasn't that good, man.
Did you get paid for that?
Got paid like $50,
So
maybe a bag of weed.
You turn pro.
Yeah, right, exactly. Man.
Is that all you got to do is get paid?
Yeah, dude.
You had to have your name on something.
No. If you're getting paid, that's
it's official.
You're a professional. Just like if you're flipping burgers at McDonald's, you're getting paid, so you're a professional.
You're a
professional Ronald. Yeah. That's what's up.
So yeah, that was the start, man. But dude, film. Fuck, I just wasn't that good, man. I shoot and film, man. I just wasn't, dude. Like, I thought I was going to be this great photographer, man.
It's fucking hard.
You know what I'm saying? I get the shit back, and it's like fucking... Like, I have a lot of good shit on my website.
Yeah.
On my Instagram, film stuff. Like Phil Shao and Paul Zwanch, all the Think guys, man.
Yeah.
I was super good at shooting the Think guys, but when it came to shooting other people for money, for Magazine X, whatever, I drop the ball every time, man.
Well,
I can only shoot my friends, bro.
Because you gotta know the guy. I'm the same way when I film with people. If I don't know you,
it's a little weird.
I don't know where your angles are going.
Yeah,
I don't know where you look good. I don't know where you poke that.
And do you feel like you got to come through on your obligation? Like, you're fucking out there. These guys think you're gonna kill it because they see the photos of you and your friends. Like, I can shoot this motherfucker in my sleep.
Well, yeah,
you know what I
mean?
know
exactly.
So they think, wow, this guy's gonna kill it. You show up and you just fuck.
Well, no, because well, yeah, that has happened to me.
Trigger finger.
With him, when he goes to boost an air, you know how high he's gonna go.
Yeah.
You know which way he likes to turn. Right. You know what grab he's gonna do. You kind of know.
Well, and how about this? Hey, Adam, do this again. Do this again.
Yeah.
Adam don't give a fuck.
Yeah, and you know that he doesn't.
You feel weird,
give
like
a fuck.
asking some dudes you don't really know, like,
hey,
can you do it again? And you feel like, fuck, they're thinking like, oh shit, he didn't get it, man. This dude fucking sucks.
Yeah, it definitely creates a vibe, and it might bind the session.
Yeah, yeah. So, I was trying to be a photographer at first after that Joe Lopes photo.
Yeah.
Well, fuck, I'm on the road, man.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna fucking kill this shit. And then after that, Thrasher Park, again, back to Thrasher Park. It's got a lot of meaning in my life. They had a wooden skate park first before the
concrete one there?
Yeah. Took my ACL out the first time there. Yeah. So hyped that there was a wooden skate park in my neighborhood. Fucking took it out fucking like first half hour. But anyway, they had a demo there. Cardiel, Hobel, bunch of people came. I got a good photo, and Bryce used it in Thrasher. So photo number 2. I'm like, fuck, man.
You got some
I'm on my way. And that's when I started to shoot with other people and just fucking up time after time after time.
Well, and especially with film,
yeah,
you don't know you're fucking up until you get home.
Yeah, I know. And you don't want to call somebody that you don't know that well, and say, hey, let's go back out and reshoot it. So, I got a few photos in Thrasher. I did an article about Diablo Valley.
Yeah.
Duffelland.
Mm-hmm.
Corey was a good friend of mine. All those rippers, right? Joel, the Metro guy, and there was rippers in fucking Diablo Valley.
Still are.
Totally. And it still has a ton of spots that people don't know about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People just don't want to come over the fucking mountain or something. But I did an article in Thrasher, my first full-length article, and I just hated the way it fucking turned out.
Really?
Man. Yeah, I hated it, man. I'm really hard on myself.
You wrote it and everything?
Yeah. I'm probably a better writer than I am a
Did they
photographer.
edit it at all?
Nah, they were pretty
No?
cool
So
about
it's just
it,
all
man.
you just didn't like it?
Yeah, no, I just didn't like the way the photos came out. I like the way it was written. I'm probably a better writer, really. You know what I'm saying? I just didn't like it, man. You know, and
That's fair.
and you know, that was a little bit after Phil died. Do you know who Phil Shaw is?
Yeah.
So
I read that. I read.
let me back up just a little. So I'm taking pictures of all the Think guys. We're all partying. We're hanging out together. I was like the creepy older brother. You know, we had so much fun, man.
Fuck yeah, Bruce.
We had so much fun, man. I love those guys. You know, Tim McKenney, fucking all those dudes, man.
The creepy older brother that looks out for everyone.
Yeah, right. You know, and you know, I got a bunch of ads. You know, I'd get good photos of them. You know, either Venture or Think ads, and Phil was going to start a company. It was going to be called Dump Truck, I believe, but I think he changed it at the end, right before he died. And he's all, listen, man, I'm going to get you a fucking sales job at Think. And then when I start this company, you're going to be the photographer and the team manager. We're going to travel the world. Woohoo. Our dreams are coming true. You know what I'm saying?
For real.
So he did give me the job at Think, you know, which was great. And I thought, well, you know, I was still living in Danville at the time.
And you were the photographer or team manager?
No, he got me a sales job.
Oh, sales job.
Yeah,
Sales
but
job.
our plan was I was going to be
your way up.
for Dump Truck or whatever it ended up being. Someone will call me on that. Mark Whiteley will probably call me on that.
Slap.
So I'm, you know, fuck it. I'm going to start the sales job, and as soon as the ink is dry on this new company, I'm switching over and being who I'm supposed to be, team manager, fucking, photographer, you know? I started making so much fucking money, man. And, you know, working long hours, coming from Danville to Think, those fuckers paid well, man. I mean, my second year, I made over $100,000. And this is...
Selling skateboards?
Selling skateboards, bro.
Yeah.
Skateboard-related product.
Dude, Think is huge. I still have a Think banner above my head.
Yeah,
man.
dude, I made so much loot. And, dude, I was 30 years old, I think, at the time, man. And I was working at a camera store before that, making $35,000 a year. So going in and hanging out with pro skaters right across the street from Thrasher, making loot, dude.
Talk about an upgrade.
I wasn't shooting photos. I wasn't shooting photos anymore.
Were you doing it for fun though? Were you still shooting a little bit?
So I was at the camera store before I got this job, and I was doing as much ad work and photos as I could. Yeah, I was trying to be a photographer, like I said, man. But get this sales job, and my idea was, after work, since I'm right here in the city with the best skateboarders in the world, Thrasher's right across the street. My friend Mark Whiteley's running Slap at the time. I'm just gonna, start doing articles. Getting ready for this new company, man. I'm going to keep my skills up. Man, this is the best thing ever. Shit, dude, 5 o'clock, come around. Let's go have a beer.
I'm done.
Let's smoke a joint. Fuck this shit. I am not going skating. I'm not going to shoot photos. So the quality of my work went down, and that's when I did the article, this Diablo Valley article, Duffel Land article, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't like the way it came out, and I just stopped shooting. And, Phil had passed away at the time, and he was my favorite subject. He's kind of like Adam is now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We just fucking clicked, Whenever you know that when you go out, you're going to get something 9 out of 10 times, that's always a great feeling, man.
It's good to have a connection,
and luckily, I've had a few people in my life like that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, with Phil being gone and me working these long fucking hours and now trapped into making money, and you don't want to go backwards. So now you're living that fucking life. Your soul's just fucking rushing out of you, man. I quit taking photos for a few years, man. After that Thrasher article, I was just fucking done, man.
Yeah.
And then left Think and was like, fuck, what am I missing in my life? And it was photography. And
Art.
I picked it up again. And, I've only done it part-time up until really now. And because I was still skating.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want to lose the love for that. And the time I had that I wasn't with my family or working my fucking dick off, I'm going to go ride a skateboard.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily going to take photos of people on it, dude. You know what I'm saying? So I always knew.
Dude, and you kill it.
When I can't skate, that's when I'm going to become a photographer. I didn't know it was going to take till I was 50 years old.
You know what I'm saying? Came a little sooner than later.
I had no idea it was going to take this long, but now I'm finally there. Torn ACL on the other side now, no meniscus. Need to get some bone shit cut out. Not a full replacement, but almost. And then they're going to hit me with stem cell. I'm going at the end of the year to get all this done. I'm just more into photography now than ever.
Yeah, probably shouldn't skate too much.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, I fucked him up trying to film lines.
Yeah, as
His
long as I
knees
can
would just buckle on us.
still follow people, because that's fun as shit. You know that.
It's
You know,
hard,
and by the way, I'm not a filmer. I've been a photographer for how many ever years? Let's not get into that math fucking problem again.
Yeah.
That shit almost fucking
No.
almost fucking passed out from it.
I think people just assume now when people have digital that you can just switch it over and film.
Well, which I do now.
You can.
So a few years ago,
But do you do that?
I do, but
Some people
I
shoot.
started out as a videographer,
and now you take
and
photos.
now
See,
I'm doing photos. So
I'm the opposite.
Yeah.
I'm the exact opposite, man.
That
But
transition is hard sometimes.
Oh, you're telling me, bro?
I don't even know.
I'm in the middle of it right now.
I know
So-
about like VX.
so then let me
Not
ask you.
HD.
Let me ask you. How is it going for you?
It's expensive. I'm broke.
Yeah.
I'm broke.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean,
Yeah.
what about the technique and learning the photography as
okay, so
opposed to the video?
I'm lucky in the fact of when I started shooting video, I didn't have anybody around that also shot video. So
okay.
I just learned.
Right.
I learned all the editing, all the videography.
All solo
just
on your own.
fucking shit up and be
Wow.
like, well, that was
Wow.
terrible. Don't do that anymore.
Right, right.
Oh, that was really good. Do
Right.
that, and
right,
then
right.
and then with the photography, I luckily actually kind of bluffed my way into a job, like a side gig job, where I have a professional photographer that I'm working underneath.
Oh,
that I'm
cool.
like his second shooter.
Oh, that's good.
So we go
That's
out
good.
and I do a lot of work with him. And sometimes it's one light set up outside. Sometimes it's 3 light setups with bounces and a backdrop.
Right.
So he's putting me in a lot of different.
So a lot of portrait work.
A lot of
there.
portrait
Okay,
work,
Right.
mostly portrait work.
Right. Okay.
But
okay.
we also do giant groups. But even though it's just portrait work, he's training me on the mechanics of the lighting,
right.
of how to use
right.
the lighting,
Which is key.
Correct.
Which is key.
Because
Which is
I've always shot photos of skateboarding,
Right.
but never with flashes.
Right.
So that's
I was
whatever.
gonna say because
That's
that
super,
portrait stuff that he's teaching you will transfer over.
Oh, and that's what I'm
into skating.
That's
without
the
a doubt,
only reason
without a
that
doubt.
I took that job.
Right.
Is because I knew this guy would teach me better than anybody else,
Right.
and I'm gonna get paid while I'm learning.
That's
Right.
pretty cool.
So
Right,
fuck it. I'm gonna just
right,
work for
right,
you. I'm gonna
right.
just whatever, shoot whatever we're shooting. Super boring portrait shit, but it's training me how to solve problems, how to deal with my lights, and how to
Right.
execute in camera correctly.
Right.
So
Right.
that's where I'm like super
That's rad.
thankful about
Yeah,
that.
That's rad. That's rad.
If
Yeah.
if I didn't have him, I'd be lost.
Right.
you
Well,
know?
that's good. That's good. I did it your way with photography.
Yeah, that's
Even though I
kudos
had,
to-
even though I had like Luke Ogden across the street, and other photographers that I could, talk to, I just didn't, man. I just all trial and error. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
don't know why, man. It's like I was afraid to ask people.
We're
or something.
skateboarders.
Yeah, I know. Hard-headed.
Yeah, we're
fucking.
skateboarders.
Back then, you guys were pretty much learning the angles of skating.
Yeah.
Even though they were already kind of presented, you guys set the standards.
Yeah,
All
and
of
got
you,
better.
Bryce,
You know
everybody.
what I'm saying. I mean, the Dan Sturts that came after those guys, and the Lance Dawes, and Atiba even. I mean, man, skateboarding. There's some of the best photographers in the world, man.
I feel like
Without a doubt.
your guys'
Yeah,
era
without a
shaped
doubt.
skateboarding. My era kind of idolized skateboarding to where we just mimic everything that we've seen. And you get like a lot of replicated angles, a lot of replicated edits.
Yeah.
But you guys shaped all that for us to
Yeah,
mimic.
that's a good point. I mean, as you
mean-
you come up with all that stuff, there's only so many variances you can do
So I was born
beyond
91.
it. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
still, there's still creative stuff being done.
Well, what's
man,
funny, I was just talking to somebody about this. I forget who I was talking to, but about how skateboarding, photographing skateboarding requires a special set of equipment that you don't use for any other
yeah.
purpose.
yeah,
So the only
yeah.
like if you buy a fisheye,
Yeah, I was
you're
just gonna
either
bring up the
filming
fish.
skateboarding or astronomy, like
Yeah.
astrological
Right.
time
Yeah.
lapses.
Or you're a weird hipster.
Yeah,
like, oh my god.
Or you're doing rap videos,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
like music
yeah,
videos.
Yeah.
If you're doing
but that's from fucking Spike Jones, who was a skateboard.
I was just gonna say
photographer,
that
you know
they
what I'm
use
saying?
the same
That-
skate
yeah,
angles.
yeah, it's a skate
Yeah.
angles. Yeah,
And you're right, it is because of Spike Jones.
Yeah,
Because
definitely.
he was the one that breached.
Yeah.
Or
brought everything together. Went from
Yeah.
skateboarding, started doing all that Beastie Boys stuff, blah blah
Yeah.
blah. You can watch Viceland to figure
yeah.
it all out.
Or
but
his 9 Club was awesome.
his nightclub
His
was
nightclub was
awesome.
pretty
His nightclub was
Yeah,
awesome.
sorry to keep bringing up the nightclub,
Dude,
but
it's all right.
I look forward to it every
love those
Monday
guys.
and every other Thursday. I look forward.
We
to
love those guys.
it.
Chris Roberts is hilarious.
Especially
dude.
when there's old timers on, like Steve Olson and the
Yeah.
Tommy G one was great, man. But I mean, but even the mid-older guys. You know, I just think it's a great podcast.
Yeah.
man. I think it's a great
I
podcast.
honestly think we're all equal, and you got to start somewhere. You guys could easily be the 9 Club one day.
Yeah, and I don't look at them as competition,
Right.
because we're spreading the love the same way.
Yeah.
And we're kind of in a different genre, whereas they're in conversational piece. We're somewhat conversational, but a little bit more direct with the video parts, and it's whatever.
Dude,
but
you guys' stuff's proper about that, and
we're
you're talking
also-
about video parts. You actually have a subject for the matter, not just, hey, what do you do?
yeah,
I mean,
we're also NorCal, they're SoCal, so
Right.
we could share. We could all share.
Hell NorCal.
I mean,
NorCal rules.
I would totally have Chris Roberts on. We could talk
That'd
about
be
his.
funny.
We could talk about his switch flip Manny.
Yeah.
He did a switch
Maybe
flip,
he'll
Manny.
do it on the table.
on the.
He's rusty.
He got me. He got me. Damn it.
I was at Battle of the Barracks, the last one, and he had this big black dude, big buffed guy in a suit, just
just holding the iPad.
holding the iPad.
Yep. That was priceless.
That's so funny, man.
Can we turn that fan back on?
Yeah, you can turn the fan on. I'll
Sorry,
I'll do
fans.
my-
We
I'll
have
do-
to turn the fan back on.
do my
It's
best.
Dude,
it's
it's
hot
so
as
hot.
I
hell
don't know
in
where
here,
your guys'
man.
beanies are. You need your
Yeah,
beanies.
this guy's in a beanie and it's like 100 degrees outside.
I've been wearing this beanie forever.
Is it the same beanie that you've been wearing?
I have a bunch of beanies. But
Okay,
I've been
I was
wearing
gonna say.
black beanies since like 2009.
I was gonna say, every time I've seen you, you've been
Black beanie.
in a beanie. In fact, I came across a photo of you on my hard drive the
In a
other day,
hat.
in a beanie at Mather. It was like hella years ago.
At
But
the
you were-
last Mather contest, I had to put my hair in my beanie. It was brute.
Is Mather the street spot?
No,
That-
that's
no,
the
that's the
park.
plaza.
That's the plaza.
The plaza.
Okay.
Next to the baseball
yeah.
field.
Yeah, I took my kid there the other day
Dude, his son rips.
on
How old's your son?
13.
Oh yeah,
Shout out to Nicholas.
ripping age.
He earned his
He's
grip
at
tape.
Fremont right now trying to get some clips.
Right on.
But I took him on a 25 park tour from Dublin.
One day.
Shit, man. It was 12.
That's a fucking mission.
It was fucking 12 days, and it was.
Yeah, you got 30 seconds, go.
gnarly. It was.
Dude.
Yeah, right. That's how it was.
one kick turn.
We get to the park. I'd fly the drone to get the overhead shot. You know, let him warm up a little. All right, you ready to get a clip?
Hey, that
You
drone
know,
test.
you ready to get a photo? Yeah.
Oakdale drone.
You ever
test.
shoot with drones?
I have a. Listen to me. I'm gonna sound all fancy here. I have a drone pilot on staff.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You just let
Nice.
someone else take care of
Nice.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty stressful.
You know, it's
Yeah.
it's nerve.
Well, okay,
it's
so-
nerve-wracking.
So for me,
Dude, yeah, we tried it.
It's
So for me,
nerve-wracking.
for one thing, they're too expensive to crash.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
that's
yeah.
too expensive for me
Yeah.
to learn on.
Yeah.
Secondly, with the business that I do, in order to invoice somebody for aerial footage,
Yeah.
they have to be commercially licensed with the FAA,
Oh no shit.
What?
or you could face up to $25,000 fine for
Oh.
illegally charging for aerial footage without a license
Wow.
or insurance. So
Is that a
one-
California thing?
yeah, yeah.
Like
So one of
privacy invasion or
so one
something?
of well, no, it's just to make sure that it's to make sure that you're not charging people for like illicit drone use. That if you don't know how to fly a drone and you f something up,
And it's so
You
the
know what I mean?
government could get a little
yeah.
more money.
Well, and also
out of
if you fuck something up, you better be insured.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So
Espe-
one-
power line
again,
or
especially in
something.
California. I'm not trying to bag on California,
especially
but,
California.
We're
dude.
regulating right
Yeah.
now.
You know, you can't make boards worth of shit in California anymore.
No?
I don't know if you know that. I don't know if I don't want to skip around. Really, I can get to what I do now, but
Yeah, he's doing some good shit right now.
it's you can't use the right glue. You can't use the right.
Well, California does have the strictest safety
Yeah.
policies,
EPA standards.
Yeah.
the strictest OSHA standards
I know. I know.
anywhere in the world.
I know. So
You know,
you
and-
can't make, for lack of a better word, performance board
Okay.
in California.
You can make a price
Like
point
Watson
board.
is still around. They do cruisers and
Yeah.
and longboards and stuff like that. But all the
Well, everything else comes from
all,
like
all
Canada,
the
Canada
no,
and
all,
Mexico.
we can get into this if you want to now, and then go back to the other part of my life.
This guy's a dude will tell you.
Everything's in Mexico.
Yeah.
The best skateboards in the world are coming from Mexico.
Well, that's what I said. I said Canada
it's
and
our
Mexico.
factory.
Yeah.
Do you know what I do now?
Yeah, clutch distribution.
Well,
right?
ASF.
that's a part.
So
of,
we
that's a
started
part
out
of
with the
it.
question of who are you and what you do.
Right.
And we got to who you are a little bit. and we started
bit,
talking about
little
photography.
bit, yeah.
So okay, so you are a professional photographer as well as you own Clutch?
No,
How's-
Clutch is kind of on the way out.
Explain this to me. I need
Clutch
to
is
know.
just a distribution, isn't it?
It's just a distribution, yeah.
ASF's
We-
actually.
and-
there's 3 factories in Mexico. Our factory, PS Sticks, Paul Schmidt,
Yeah.
and Bareback, I believe, is top notch. They do real Baker, all that stuff. You know,
Good boards.
really good boards. Yeah, our boards are just as good, but really good boards for sure. So we're across the border 15 minutes because of the California regulations that you seem like you know a lot about. You know, let's not bore everybody and get into the whole thing. But the reason boards are being made in Mexico is because we can't make the right board
Here,
in
yeah.
California. It would be way too much money, number one, and it would break faster. You know, and a couple other things. I don't want to bore
Taxes
everybody,
and
but
whatever,
it's the whole nine.
Yeah.
So we have to make them in Mexico, and it's not tons cheaper. It's we have to make the board that you want, and that's where we have to go to do it.
Plus, side note, owning a company in California sucks.
That's again, I don't.
just
You
throw
know,
that
we
out
could
there.
do it. Hey, we could do a whole side podcast on what's wrong with California. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't want to bore skateboarders.
All right,
Maybe
carry on.
start.
Yeah,
We
coming from a
could
business
start a new
standpoint.
podcast called About That California.
Oh, yeah.
And then we could.
Just have business owners on
So-
talking shit about it.
The best boards in the world are coming from Mexico. They're either coming from my factory or Bareback
And what's your
or
factory called?
PS6. ASF.
ASF.
ASF Manufacturing,
Okay.
ASF Laminates, whatever
What
we're
does
going
that
to do. I'm not going to tell you. It's an inside joke.
Okay.
It's an inside. I can't let out all the secrets,
Okay.
man.
I like
You know?
FYI.
But that's
Alright.
my main job, man. And when I started with my partner, Steve Farquhar, shout out to Steve, I think he was doing 500, 600 boards a month. I'm not sure exactly. I had just left a job, a place called Empire Distribution. Do you remember that?
They did Ace Force.
We could roll it back for just 1 second. So left Think, had no idea what I was going to do with my life. Again, making money, bought a house, lost my job. 2 days later, my wife's pregnant. Okay, so freaking out, not knowing what I'm going to do. My friend Greg Carroll, who owned Think, was that girl now. He was nice enough to get me a job as a rep. 4-star girl, the whole nine. Did this whole area, blah, blah, blah. Had a shoe brand, I believe. Decline shoes. Yeah, I was doing Decline shoes.
I remember
too.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
he'd hook it up, dude.
just trying
Random.
to do whatever I fucking could to get by. You know what I'm
Stay in the
saying? And
industry
stay in
and
the
do what you
industry.
could, yeah.
Man, I was going to maybe go back to school. By the way, I did go to school for photography. But Think pulled me out of that. Like, you'll make X amount. Why you want to stay in school? I'm okay. Fuck, why do I want to stay in
for real.
school? You know what I'm saying? I was going to transfer to Brooks. I was doing weddings and doing the shit that you're doing now. You know what I'm saying?
Outside of skateboarding.
Outside of skateboarding, I didn't know I was going to get a job in skateboarding. I was at the camera store, all that bullshit. But they offered me this job, man. So I took it, was there for about 5 years, making bank, having a great time, partying like a rock star, traveling everywhere for free, getting clothes for free, skateboards, fucking take boxes every Friday, man.
Dude, back when Diamond
know?
was exclusive, you got us the Misfit shirts, the Iron Maiden shirts.
Yeah, well, that was an Empire. So,
Yeah.
so left Think in a blaze of glory. I talked a lot of shit. I'll be honest with you, man. I didn't like the way shit was being ran. It went from being one of the best teams in fucking skateboarding, man. Wade Spire, Dandra Hobel, Phil fucking Schau, Paul Zwanich. I mean, dude, it was dope as fuck. And it was just turning into a fucking just shit. They were trying to go with the trends, man, instead of being the trend, And fuck, man, I'm not the type to fucking keep my mouth shut, man. Probably should have, whatever.
Nah, you're the most blunt person.
But
I've
we
ever
were just
met.
at each other all the time, man.
Yeah.
And Keith Cochran was running in at that point, and I love that dude to fucking death, man. And I was putting him through hell. I'll be honest with you, man. So we parted ways, man.
Shit happens.
Went and did the rep thing. Luckily, had a bunch of money saved up, trying to figure out what to do. And Greg Carroll wanted to leave Girl. His buddy Joey Surreal, Justin Williams, and a guy named Brian Coons, too, who was from Think as well. Everyone ended up leaving Think. We decided to start this new thing called Empire Distribution. Do you remember what that was?
No.
Force trucks, Ace
Force Trucks, Ace Trucks, Diamond, and a couple other board brands that don't even
I never worked for anybody who carried those brands.
Okay, but this is before
Yeah,
Diamond.
this is when they first got
before
released.
Diamond was shit.
No
dude.
one knew about Force or Ace, and we all
Yeah.
rode for Force. I could tap in real quick.
Yeah,
We
no problem.
Bruce is the photographer for the company, and it'd be like me, Joe Suddeth, and Jose Ruiz, and we all had to share one board. And we went to just because Forces weren't on the line yet, and we had to do photography for Force and get these clips showing the trucks.
Gotcha.
So I'm standing at the top of the double set. Joe goes and tries an ollie flip, chips the nose, comes back, here you go, hands me the board. So then I go and try a trick, and I chip the tail,
Forgot that.
and then I go and hand it to Jose, here you go. It was the craziest thing, but it was such a new thing that we thought it was going to go somewhere. But those trucks ended up being defaults.
Well,
shitty.
So
there was air bubbles in the mold or something, and they would break.
We start this distribution. We get Diamond. We knew Diamond was going to be huge. I mean, how big is Diamond now, right? And this is right when they're starting to get a little hype, and when he had just brought up the Misfits shirt, that's what fucking
and the
hit
Diamond
the ball
Main.
out of the park, man. Yeah. All of a sudden, Diamond just blew the fuck up, man. And that was at Empire at that point.
$500
and
T-shirts.
Ace Trucks, Joey came from Indy with his homeboy Shroogie, one of the fucking coolest dudes in skateboarding. Joey Touche is who I'm talking about. And they started Ace with us. I had one of the first 3 pairs that came across from the factory. And, it just didn't work from the gate. This Empire distribution, it just didn't fucking work from the gate, man. Same thing happened. Fuck you, I'm out of here.
We took over ASR a couple times.
I mean,
we ran that shit.
Seemed like it was gonna work, but it didn't. It just wasn't the right people at the right time, man. And lucky I didn't lose much money. But fuck, here I am, dude. What am I gonna do?
And when was Empire around? That's
you're gonna ask me dates again.
No,
2005.
I would say that
2005, 2006.
It was before
a little more recent.
Yeah, 2005, 2006.
Because
sure.
Jeff from Stockton was bringing me out. Remember Jeff Ward?
Yeah, of course.
Jeff was one of your...
When did we go to Agenda?
Shout out.
Well,
no, this was ASR days.
Oh,
fuck Agenda.
Agenda was down the street, and it was little when Converse was just getting into the game, but they didn't actually have a skate program.
You never went to an ASR?
No, I went to...
ASR was the surf and skate trade show.
The first Agenda we went to was when Diamond had officially...
Right, okay. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that was the first one that I went to.
Those were still sick.
Yeah, it was cool. I had fun.
Yeah.
We maxed out on
those.
We had fun wandering around Vegas with those passes, getting into everywhere.
ASR was like the size of a football field.
Huge.
With 3-story booths. And chicks with bikinis and just dudes wasted. Everyone from around the world came. It was a time in skateboarding. I don't know if
it was great.
It'll ever fucking come back.
No.
It was unbelievable.
Not as far as a trade show life.
But not to get off on a tangent.
Trade shows are regulated now.
So I answer a ad and I'll never forget that. I was up in Tahoe, man, just trying to figure out life. And I answered an ad, and what's the job message board in the extreme industry? Malachi.
Malachi?
Yeah, the guy looking at a wood shop. Malachi's a job board for the industry. Guy looking, just inherited a wood shop, needed some sales reps. What the fuck? I'll meet with this guy. And I think it was the last ASR.
You guys were doing
and met with them, and he's an engineer from Michigan. Smart dude, man. Worked at GM. I think the last car he worked on was a Corvette, and some instrumental part of this car. Like the dude's really like a genius, man. But what comes with being a genius, you can be a hard ass too. And he wanted to do something different. His brother owned a bunch of warehouses and factories in Mexico. He was doing software shit. And the one was a wood factory. They did build-outs for Banana Republic and fucking something like The Gap. Build-outs where you put fucking clothes in, Mm-hmm. And somehow he got presses for skateboards and decided, I'm just going to make skateboards. Crazy, right?
No, yeah, small
who the fuck... Outside of our fucking clique.
Yeah.
Outside of our deal... And he's all, fuck it, I'll make skateboards, man. I think he was hot pressing them at first. I had no idea what he was doing. But he figured it out. Because, again, this dude's fucking smart.
He's an engineer.
Yeah, this dude's fucking smart, Yeah. But he bought some good presses. I think Jerry Madrid at Madrid Skateboards helped him out. I think at least that's what the folklore is. And I got on early. This is 10 years ago at this point. I think I'm coming up on 10 years with this guy. And we just built it from there, 500, 600, 700 boards a month. And we've hit 50,000 boards a couple months.
Yeah,
wow.
We're number 2 now, man. And I guarantee you our boards are as good as any board out there. And better than most. It's us and Bareback, man. I'm just going to fucking look in the camera and say that it's us and Bareback.
So you're, as a skateboard maker, you make boards for other companies?
Yeah, so the story goes a little deeper. Like that 916 board I see you have on the wall right there. When we first started... I came up with all the shapes we should do. Definitely overdid it. But, because I thought we have to offer way more than everyone else. Here's Paul Schmidt and here's Bareback. And they have all the fucking accounts. All the accounts I want. Yeah. Deluxe, Baker, everybody. Tumieto, Plan B. Everybody, dude, I try to talk to these people, and, you know, we're only a couple years into it. They're all, fuck no.
Nope.
So I'll be straight with you, man. I mean, this was already happening. So I just said, you know, if no one's going to give me the time of day, we're going to make sure that we make the best boards. How are we going to do that? We have to keep making a ton of boards. So we started Clutch Distribution, and we became the #1 shop deck manufacturer in the world.
There you go.
You know, and I mean, a lot of people aren't going to be stoked on that, but what am I going to do? We have to make boards so we become the best. You know, put in 10,000 hours with Malcolm Gladwell, The Outliers. I don't know if you ever read that book, but you have to put in X amount of fucking time to become the best. And how are we going to do it if no one's giving us the time of day? Well, we can make the shop decks better than any board out there.
Yeah.
And I'll be straight with you, shops are struggling at this point. They needed something, man. So I felt that we were fucking helping them out. You know what I mean? And if you're a brand and you're doing your job, no matter how good these shop decks are selling and how good they are, if you're doing your job, the kids are still going to want your boards.
Yeah.
You know, even during my peak at Clutch, and I'm not really doing Clutch anymore, I would still see more real boards at the park, more Tamietto boards at the park. You know what I'm saying? I'd see some of my shop decks at the park, but it was still the board brands. You know what I mean?
Shop decks.
Well,
I ride.
What shop?
Orbit.
Oh, okay, yeah, he's still going through China. That dude's blowing it. I'll just say it straight out. My boards are way better.
He's got some. I skate his blanks. He's got some
Okay.
blanks that I get him for like $15. So
Right.
What am I going to complain about?
Well, hit me up, dude. I'll get you some
All right.
boards. No,
All
no
right, I'll hit you
problem.
up.
Yeah, no
Easy,
problem.
dude.
Well, I didn't
can
know I
talk-
could hit you up
Well,
before.
there we
Is
go.
that
You can hit me up, definitely, man. So you know, we killed the shop game, killed it, fucking killed it, man. And then started doing small brands because again, I don't want to fuck up with these big guys, man. You know what I'm saying?
You only get
And
one shot.
You only get one shot.
One shot.
One shot. And started doing good with the small brands, you know?
Yeah.
And then finally over this last year, we're all, hey, man, it's time to fucking take this over. Giving Clutch off to somebody else. It's just we have too many accounts. We need to do what we did with the shops for the board brands now. So my mindset has changed completely. Shops taken care of. We're actually going to farm that business out to somebody else probably.
Okay.
You know, people watch this are going to be pretty bummed.
Maybe someone will take
But
over Clutch or
we
start
gave
another
people too many
distribution.
options. We have to cut that. We're still going to have more options than everyone else. We're still going to have the best boards, and we're still going to have a great price. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
we can't give them what we were doing. We have to save that for the brands now. So what we did for shops, I'm going to take into brands now. And I'm not going to say who we're doing now, but we already got some huge people.
All right.
And we have everyone knocking at our fucking door. And, you know, listen, I love Bareback. I don't want them to go anywhere, but we're definitely #2. And we're going to keep fucking growing. You know what I mean? We just have a ton to offer. We have the best boards out there.
Great material.
And a great price. You know, we're not cheap by any means. You know, we're a little better than Bareback, enough to where you're going to want to come to us. You know what I'm
Yeah, I mean,
saying?
skateboards aren't cheap.
No, and you know, that's the thing too, man. You probably know a bunch of shop dudes is, you know, the price of everything's going up.
Yeah.
Labor, glue, shipping, everything, man. Fucking my trips to the factory every month. I mean,
Taxes are
everything's
going up.
everything's going up, man. So our prices to everyone have to go up to the brands, and so they have to charge more. The end thing, man, you know, skateboards haven't gone up in how many years? 25 fucking years?
That's been the conversation in a lot of different
They're going to have to start
videos.
charging more for skateboards.
Wait, what do you mean
dude?
skateboards haven't gone up?
Skateboards been
51,
$50 for
50
bucks
how
forever.
long, bro?
That's true.
That's a big
25
thing.
years?
Well, I've seen now.
No, maybe it was 45 for
Yeah,
a while.
so-
There's been talk that they want
So-
to raise the price to $70 a deck.
I've already seen it.
Yeah,
I've already
we've
seen
seen it
70
too
bucks.
with
Yeah.
FA and hockey. Not to throw anyone
But you
out
understand
there,
what I'm
but-
saying, man? They're going to have to, man, because
Yeah.
there's nothing we can do as the manufacturer.
Yeah, that's the
We
starting point.
have to raise our fucking
There's a couple of
prices,
brands
man.
on the wall, like at Orbit, I think that are like 59.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fucking awesome, I'm
Yeah.
sure, is one of them.
Yeah.
So
I
that's
don't
real
think he
nice.
covers. I don't think he carries them.
Does it carry fucking
No.
awesome? Yeah, they got a nice board. I want to go after fucking awesome. I'm telling you guys that right now.
We're going to get you.
Yeah, we'll be getting you.
Deal, figure your shit out.
Well,
We'll be getting you. So anyway, I don't know. We've kind of jumped around, but
Did
it
you
does
want to
come-
talk about Vertical
It
Smile?
does. Well, yeah, we'll go. We should go back.
I thought that
to
was
it.
pretty cool because you
That's
know,
on my list.
You know,
That's
But,
on my
that,
list.
but that's how I got
know
it.
Chewy.
That's how I got
Bruce
into
scouted
filming.
me
though.
and Chewy as the only street skaters for Vertical Smile.
But real quick, I just want to say real quick, and I'll go back to that.
Yeah.
That's how I started filming. I was always a photographer. I never wanted to be a filmer.
Yeah.
But as the internet age starts, And I read, so I like to read as much as I can. I like to, expand my fucking burnt out horizon as much as I possibly can. You know what I mean? And the age of the internet, what they call it, self-didactic, you could fucking become a fucking scholar on your own, man.
Yeah.
And so I read a lot about marketing and what's the best thing to do, obviously, because I want the company to grow, And this was starting about 6, 7, 8 years ago. What'd they say?
Been a minute.
Video is the next big thing. Video is the next big thing. I found myself, what do I do every day? I don't go to Thrasher and the Barracks and all these other sites to look at photos. I go to look at video, bro.
Yeah.
So I started filming, and that's why I'm a shitty filmer now. You know what I'm saying? But I'm trying, man. I'm fucking trying.
Do you film with the same stuff you shoot photos with?
Yeah, and we will get back to vertical smile because that was one of the best times of my life.
For sure, we got to bring
without
that up.
Without a doubt.
Great times.
So I've been a Nikon man my whole life, okay? And work bought me a D600 about 5 years ago when it first came out.
Okay.
First camera that filmed as well.
Yeah.
That was another thing that really kicked my ass into. Like, fuck, this is kind of
you could
fun.
switch over.
You could drink and film. At least for me, photos, I got to think, like, what's the ratio of this? And, and I can't even smoke a joint and take photos.
Really?
No, I can't. I'm not built that
Bruce
way.
is one and done.
But I can take a bag of mushrooms and fucking film. You know what I'm saying? So it's a whole different thing.
Club,
you know what I
club.
mean? It's a whole different thing, man. And I love it. I'm actually having a great time.
No, yeah.
So the answer to your question
It's all
is
positive.
just due to the fact that I don't know shit about filming, I started with a DSLR. I never shot a VX. I was always the photo guy. Nah, I don't want to film. Fuck that, man. But it was so easy, again, like shooting digital photographs, that I really fell in love with it, man.
Yeah.
And I've been shooting with the same D600 till now. And I'm finally changing all my gear up. I'm going to Micro Four Thirds. I'm going to the Fuji system, man.
Yeah.
And I'm having trouble with it. I've sent 3 or 4 cameras back to B&H already.
For what?
For just trying out all the different Fuji
just
cameras
trying them
to
out?
see which one works, man. There's no fisheye with Fuji, so I have the adapter for the Nikon, and I had to buy the not full frame fisheye that I've had for 20 years. I had to buy the cropped one, so I'm spending all this fucking money, right? But the reason I'm doing it is because of the size. I fired up my website again. We can get to that in a little bit. I started it 5 years ago, put it through the side. I'm going to start a thing called the Bike Club, where we ride bikes and film and shoot photos,
Missions.
ride like 30 to 50 miles.
I was going to
Well,
say,
we're gonna
I'm
start-
down, but never mind.
We're going to start doing like 3-day trips and shit. It's kind of where my life is leading.
It's
I
hella
want to get
fun.
the bike industry involved and the skate industry.
Okay.
So I had to lighten up my gear like crazy. And dude, I'll show you what I shot
We
with
went
it
on the
and how
most
good the
brutal
shit
mission.
fucking came out. But it's almost like a goddamn toy, man.
Yeah.
It's so light, dude. But I don't know if I'm going to switch all the way over. I'm not sold yet. That's why I've sent so many cameras back to fucking B&H.
I recently made a switch too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What, to Sony?
Yeah, but
Sony's the shit.
but I'm still
right?
rocking both of them. But
I'm still rocking both, too.
I was always a Canon dude.
Right.
And then I picked up a Sony, an A7S.
Yeah.
For I actually bought it for 1 gig, because I was shooting this. I was shooting a firewalk.
Okay.
You know, where like people walk across the hot coals.
Yeah, like
It was
Tony Robbins.
Yeah, it
shit.
was like this
Yeah,
big
that's
ceremony with
Tony-
this
yeah.
motivational speaker and everything.
That's it. That's Tony
and
Robbins
she
shit.
wanted it filmed, but she was basically like, I don't allow any external lighting. No external lighting. And they do this in the middle of the night.
Oh, wow.
So think about what you're working with
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
You're like, look, no Canon in the world's gonna shoot that.
It's gonna catch
like,
that.
I don't care
yeah.
what I have, you're not gonna shoot that.
Yeah.
So she actually was like, this is the camera I want you to use.
Oh, wow.
Because
She
she
knew
like
that?
did some research on the best
Okay,
low light
okay,
cameras.
okay.
So I looked into it and was like, hey, this camera
Looks
looks pretty,
cool.
pretty legit. So
Did you not know about it before? Did
I
you
didn't.
not even know about Micro Four Thirds or none of that shit?
No, I wasn't. I had my Canon.
Right,
And
that's it.
That's it. You know. And at that time I was only shooting video, so I was the leader of my group. I didn't have anybody above me that was like,
Right.
hey, we should do this, and do you
Right.
know about this? And
Right.
this
Everyone
and
was
this.
following
Right.
your lead.
And
Basically,
you become
yeah.
set in your ways. You don't bother.
Yeah, I'm Canon.
researching.
I'm
Yeah.
Canon. Canon for life, bro. And I got all my lenses already. I got a full setup already.
Right, right.
So I looked into this camera and was like, okay. And the job, I looked at how much the job was going to pay me. I was like, well, all right, fuck it, I'll buy it. Let's go. Because it's full frame, and I had the 7D at the time.
Right.
So I was like, okay, well, it's full frame. Fuck it, let's go. So I actually bought a lens that would work for skateboarding as well as real estate as well. You know, a 16 to 35 on a full frame. I'm like, beautiful. It's damn near a fisheye.
Yeah.
Went and shot the firewalk. Shot it at like 2500 ISO, just no problem, no grain.
Turned out killer. Yeah.
So pretty, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, this camera is amazing.
Right.
So at the time, I was shooting a ton of real estate, and I was having to do 3 flashes, lights for video. I was on a slider tripod. Like, it was just this whole ordeal just to shoot a 1,200 square foot home, and get $100 for it. It's like, oh my God, this is fucking killing me, right? So then I was like, you know
what? The life of a photographer, I'm telling you,
this
man.
Sony, I'm like, wait a minute. So then I tested a couple on like my house and stuff. Now I go into the real estate shoot with my Sony.
Boom.
No lights.
Yeah.
Proper.
Yeah.
No lights because of just the ISO capability of
Yeah,
it.
it's just good in low lighting.
Fucking no problem.
Can you pull up Instagram on here?
I'm on Instagram right here.
Go 4WBS.
Oh, I got you. I got you already pulled up right here.
Okay, so same day. That's the Nikon. That's the Fuji.
Okay, so that's
that's a sweet shot. But you know the Fuji's just fucking as good, man.
What lenses are we using? So
what would okay?
So for this one,
the Fuji's not full frame, unfortunately. Okay, so whatever the equivalent to a 70 to 210 on the Fuji shot.
Okay, so
big old motherfucker.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Really nice, expensive.
Well, that's why you got that. That's why you got that. Perfect.
Yeah. And then back to that. This is the same day. That's with the 50 millimeter. I'm a 50 millimeter shooter, dude.
So it's hard to compare these two shots,
right?
Because of
but it does work, and it's half the size. You understand what I'm saying? And it looks great. Now let me show you this though. Go here. There's how many shots on that? Okay, go. Let's see. Okay, can't you? Oh, how do you do it that way? There we go. First one was Nikon. The second one's the Fuji. You know,
those are crispy.
I mean, that's all I'm trying to go for.
I think the Fuji looks a little better.
That's what I'm trying to go for. Is just I can fucking use this little tiny, and it feels like a toy, bro.
It does. My Sony's like.
And today we got high speed off camera flashes. You know, I've been Nikon forever, and I got whatever the remote is that does the high speed, you know, because you can't shoot at 250th. You know that, man.
No.
It's a Godox, Godox.
Dude, the 8200?
Dude.
Bro, I just got one too.
It's twice as powerful as my Nikon flashes. And again, portable as fuck.
It's like this big.
And so here's the deal.
That's funny. I literally just bought one 2 months ago.
So I'm having an insane amount of fun with this fucking camera. And dude, it shoots video like a beauty, man.
Yeah.
Like a beauty. There's a new Fuji XH1 that I'm gonna probably send this camera back and get the I hope B&H doesn't see this.
5 months.
6 months probably. We just been going out on test
12.
shoots because fuck, dude.
You gotta
You gotta know, man. You know what I'm saying?
Before you go on a trip, you need to get your shit set.
Because I'll be honest, with mine, I bought the A7S. But I wish I would have done a little more research and bought the A7S II.
Yeah.
Because the 2
and
does
the 3's out now.
Internal 4K.
Yeah.
I know the 3's out, but at the time the 2 was out.
Okay.
But it was only like $600 more.
Right.
And it does internal 4K. I'm like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hey, dude, I stay up at night thinking about this shit. You know what I mean? So anyway, to close the wood factory, I want to get off that. I don't want to talk about work because it is work, dude. I work like 14 hours a day. I'm not bullshitting you, man.
No,
and luckily, he's one of our test riders, and luckily I get to go hang out with guys and shoot, and that's a part of my work, and that's great. And I get to go down to LA and hang out with a bunch of my people that make boards with us and go out and film with them and stuff. So it is. But mostly, I'm in my fucking office working 14 hours a day. It's a fucking gnarly job. You know what I mean? But we're doing a bunch of stuff. Like, we're going to start a distribution company, too, eventually.
Another one?
It's ASF manufacturing. That's the wood part. Yeah. We're going to start a distribution where some of the brands
don't you have
make.
Clutch?
Clutch, we called it Clutch Distribution, but it's kind of a fucking stupid name because we're really not a distribution. We're making boards for people. Right? You're not really distributing boards. Like Deluxe Distribution, that's a distribution.
But you have the branding kind of already established.
Yeah, I know. That's what's kind of bumming me out.
Why not just change the business model? of
That's a good question.
the distribution? Because you've already got the business license, you've already got the branding.
It's a good question. It's a good question, and we're going through that right now. I'm actually going to LA next week to try to iron all this out. You know, all the shit that we put in Clutch, do we just throw that away? Or do we just change what it is?
Because you're already a distribution.
That's a great question. So it's a great question.
For somebody who is I'm on the outside.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I just know you're a distribution company.
Right.
As your Clutch distribution. So I'm thinking
and what we could do, but what I mean by the distribution is we're going to do something like a deluxe where we pick 4 or 5 brands that we want to help grow, and we have the biggest shop list. One of them. I mean, our shop list has got to look as good as a deluxe or something. We know every shop in America, you know? So we can just plug right in and start selling directly to the shops, you know? So that's our future plans with that. I put that to rest, but I'm a pretty happy dude with what I'm doing, you know what I mean?
All right.
And part of my job is the photography and the video. So I don't have to go out and try to make the $200 for an ad, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which, hey, more power to you, man. I get the struggle of the photographer
grind,
and the
yeah.
video guy, but man, it is a fucking struggle. And I am 51 years old. I want to fucking just do what I want to do. And luckily, this is a part of it. So I get the photography, I get the business, I get it all. You know what I'm saying? The stress that comes with it too. You know what I mean? But it's a pretty good place to be, man. You know, I'm pretty hyped on it.
I mean, as long as you got money to pay rent and put food in the fridge.
For sure.
And you're not, and you don't have some fucking asshole telling you to do some shit that's sucking your soul out.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not saying my business partner's not an asshole, but no, but I'm an asshole to him. So it works both ways.
Yeah, but he's not telling you to do something that you don't necessarily want to do.
No.
You know what I mean?
No, he's actually, I shouldn't talk shit. He's one of the most reasonable guys fucking out there.
Well, the fact that
I couldn't do this with anybody else.
The fact that you can talk shit about him and know that he knows that you're not talking shit is a testament that you guys have a good relationship.
So how long have you been working with ASF?
Almost 10 years now.
You said coming up on 10 years now.
Yeah, almost 10 years.
That's crazy because that's right when you were starting Vertical Smile was back then. You ran
you
ran your
want
own
to go
brand.
back to Vertical Smile.
Good segue.
Yeah, if you want to go back, that was a good segue.
You're ending your talk about the factory. Might as well talk about the business you ran through the factory.
When Vertical Smile started at Think, so a little background to Think, it was about 2 clicks away from a mental asylum.
That's an SF company.
I mean, dude, just each owner had just issues, and they didn't want to admit they had issues, okay? And that's the worst thing. And then I come in, and I have issues. You know what I'm saying? So there's 4 dudes butting heads with issues, and
4 skateboarders,
and you know the main owners, and just everyone was a basket case, man. But Jesus Christ, did I not learn from these people, man? You know, really, I would have not changed it for the world. You know what I'm saying? And when I say basket case, I say it in the best way possible.
Yeah, sounds
you
like
know,
it. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like it was fucking nuts. And again, Keith Cochran was my best friend there. There was 3 owners: Don Fisher, Greg Carroll, and Keith Cochran. And I got along with everybody, but I really jived with this Keith guy. I mean, complete. Like I could fucking go through some crazy stories. I'll come back another time and just go over stories. We were sick of the game. We were sick of it. Nobody was agreeing on anything.
It's the industry.
Numbers were going down. Yeah, the industry, it was like, what the fuck's going on right now? What can we do to fucking, just take the piss out of everybody? Well, let's start a board company. And there's this rep there, Eric Ryder, and he heard us talking. Eric Ryder, one of the funniest motherfuckers in the world, another friend of Phil's. I said, you can call it Vertical Smile. Oh, well, okay. Let's call it Vertical Smile. Got the trademark. And fucking started a board brand called Vertical Smile, but it was always a joke. It was always a joke. So Think stopped, and, of course, I took it with me and started with the factory. I'm going to fucking bring back Vertical Smile. It wasn't around for like 2 years. And I talked to Ryan Carpenter. You know Ryan Carpenter.
Meat Juice.
One of the best skateboarders in the fucking world. One of the raddest dudes in the world.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do this on my own. I'm
from the Valley.
Meat Juice, help me out, man. And we tried, and we did it for a few years, and we had probably the best time ever, man.
Killing it, dude.
The road trips we would go on, man, from the beginning to the end when John Worthington was on.
Dude.
And John, dude, we would go, and we would spend thousands of dollars on these road trips.
They were the best.
And get so fucked up.
Yep.
But somehow produce.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
insane
Well, you gotta
shit
celebrate
every
after you
single
get the
day. No
clips.
matter how high you were the night before,
Yep.
the next day, shit started happening right away.
Yeah.
And it was never, hey, dude, could you do this? Could you do that? Honestly, man, if it had another name, it could have been a fucking huge company.
But what I thought it was funny is you guys were all transition skaters, and then you brought me and Chewy in.
Yeah,
And you were like, here, we're going to start a hardware company.
Yeah.
And he put in, like, the slogan. It was like, our bolt dudes are better than your wood guys.
Yeah.
And it was me and Chewy.
Yeah, because I wanted young dudes like Brad McLean.
Oh, yeah,
and,
Brad
and
was
you
good
know
with
what
the-
I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
And like Adam.
But we
you know,
were the two street skaters.
yeah.
Me and Chewy.
I mean, it was great, but you know, everyone was partying so hard at that point, and
Yeah, that
everyone
can't
had
last.
day jobs. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it was fun.
And we wanted to put effort into filming and skating. The business side of it, and it became a burden. And the joke wasn't funny anymore. You know, what's that Smith song?
Yeah.
Joke isn't funny
Yeah.
anymore. whatever. It wasn't funny anymore, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
No,
saying?
yeah,
But
we got the hint.
that's when I started to get the idea for a four-wheel back scratcher, though. So I still wanted to film,
More
and
of
I
a
still
laid
wanted
back.
to take photos, and I still wanted to sell boards. Boards will be available on the website in a month.
Hell yeah.
And so I just went into that. And I wanted to write in the
So
whole thing.
four-wheel back scratcher. That's your website blog,
Yeah, website.
and that's
blog.
all it is
Yeah,
basically. You're,
that's all it is.
but
yeah.
you're making boards now.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
always been
yeah.
forward.
Because you know, I back to we're not going to offer everybody all the bells and whistles that we do at the factory anymore. Like if you go on the website, there's split fades and there's all the foils, and I'm doing these other fade shit. Like we're not offering everybody that stuff anymore. So I'm going to sell it on my website, direct to the customer, and no bullshit. I make enough money. I don't need the money. I'm selling boards on the site to pay for road trips and to start paying Adam and stuff like that. And to be honest with you, I started it 5 years ago, stopped it because business was so crazy. I had to concentrate on business. I couldn't do that anymore. But I brought it back
You
this
have to
year.
create a
And we're
foundation,
seriously
man.
starting to sell boards in a month, and I'm starting to do this bike club thing, which is going to be the major part
Dude,
of the
it's so
blog.
sick.
You know, I'm a writer, dude.
Yeah.
And I want to write.
I was gonna say I've been seeing.
It's going to lead into
I've been seeing more posts from you lately.
because I'm trying to get ready for. I'm gonna start
Yeah.
doing ads. I'm gonna do everything that you have to do. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do ads in low card, and it's gonna lead into. I want to start writing, do some articles for magazines. Not all the time because, you know, that's a passion thing.
Yeah.
You know, say they give me $1,000 for an article, or even that $500. It wasn't worth it. My time is worth way more than that.
Yeah.
So it's you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's mostly gonna be for my website, and I'm gonna sell boards to fund that. You know what I'm saying? And
Okay.
you know, if I can get up to 500 boards a month, dude, we'll go on 5 trips a year,
Dude, I
man.
back
You
it.
know?
Yeah. So here it is, right here.
Yeah, and then, you
Four-wheel
know,
back-
link to
back
Clutch,
scratcher.
of course. Phil Shao article.
Great article. If you are looking for a good read, go check out that. I just read that the other
Hey,
day.
Rusty.
Good article. Your DIY trip too
Yeah,
it's a really good article. If
Yeah.
you guys also want to read that, you like spotlight like the best DIYs and talk
yeah,
about.
that's how I
past
started.
DIYs and-
I'm gonna do this for Confusion. Do you know Confusion magazine? Used
Yeah.
to be Concussion.
Yeah.
I always did like side stuff for them when I was doing stuff for Slap and the few things I did for Thrasher and all the other. I did stuff for Heckler and Strength and all that. But I'd always give stuff to Confusion. It was Concussion back then.
Concussion.
Sorry, I've had a couple concussions.
We all have. It's good.
I figure when I'm going to start my website again, I'm going to do my first article for Confusion because I really love these guys. Dude,
Let's pay homage.
I spent so much money traveling around doing that fucking article and spent like a year and a half. Like, it's one of the best things I've ever done, you know?
Yeah.
And then that's when I stopped and had to go back to work and blah, blah, blah. So I'm bringing it all back. And I'm
Right on.
staying on it, though, this time, man. You know how it
Awesome.
is,
I do know
man.
how it is.
Like, I don't need to make the money from this stuff, but I need to fucking do it. I
Gotta
need
stay
to,
afloat.
man, you know?
Yeah, in fact, Cameron and I both are in that comeback stage right now to skateboarding because after Epic, we both had to work.
Yeah.
You got to pay bills. You
Life
got, you know
gets
what I
in the
mean? Like,
fucking way, yeah.
like, we're getting older. We got
Same
we got
thing.
fucking shit to do.
Yeah.
We got
Yeah.
car payments. We got whatever, So we both just kind of just put our nose to the grindstones, working, and now we're like, all right, we're trying to dip back.
Yeah, it
you know?
always comes back. I can tell you this. It always comes back. You know, to bring it back to Nine Club again today, Brandon Turner. And it's not just him. It's I've seen this a billion times, man. Skateboarders kill it. They become pro or not, but, you know, they're just totally into it. It's their goddamn life. They get out of it because of work, because of a chick, because they get their uncle pregnant, whatever the fuck it is. You know what I mean? Whatever it is. But they always come back.
Yeah.
It doesn't go away, man. I remember, dude, at back to Thrasher fucking Park, about 9 years old, man. I was spinning 360s out front by myself, nobody around. I go, man, I'm going to do this for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And fuck, here I am, 51. And I had those times where I quit, the elbow,
Yeah.
and then high school, getting pussy and the fucking whole, you know what I'm saying? I downhilled a little bit, Tunnel Road. Shout out to Cliff Coleman. Tunnel Road, we would go downhilling with the jocks. Like, I hung out with everybody in high school. But I didn't really skate. This was before the Animal Chin and all that stuff came back, and I started street skating again, you know? But you always come back to it, man. If you had that initial spark, the way you guys had it, the way Adam has it, Adam's never quit. Adam's never quit. It's going to come back.
Got to kindle that
It's
fire,
going to
man.
come back.
Well, how old are you, Adam?
27.
27? Yeah. I'd already quit a couple times by then.
Yeah, right, right.
But same for me. I had an injury and stopped for a little bit.
What happened?
I just hurt my knee.
Yeah.
Not no surgery or nothing,
Right,
but just twisted it so bad
Yeah,
that
yeah.
I couldn't. I was having trouble walking for a little bit, and
Right.
then I was a soccer player,
Oh, shit.
so I was like, "What's more important?"
Yeah.
And soccer did some things for me that skateboarding didn't.
Sure, sure.
College education and whatnot. So
Yeah.
I
and again, you got to do what you got to do, man.
And
you
so
know?
I didn't skate very much for a little bit, and then partied for a little bit, and then and then just like randomly like went to the skate park. Power Inn opened,
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I was like, "What?
There's
There's a skate park here now?"
open
Because
at
before there was
nighttime?
nothing.
Yeah.
There was nothing. We had the grind,
right.
and then a 10-year span of nothing.
Damn, the grind was
What about Frontline?
fucking the grind.
What about-
was
ever go to
badass.
Frontline?
Frontline.
You
Where was that?
That was in Woodland.
Nigel's part.
Yeah, Nigel's
Oh
part.
yeah,
That was Nigel's
Board
part.
Wild. That's what
Is
it
that
was.
what it's
That was the
called?
first one. That was
Yeah,
the first one.
I went
yeah.
there on his Frontline just a couple times. I was a Grom.
So
though.
wait,
I did
it
there,
was
but then-
it was Board Wild first?
I can't remember which one.
And then Nigel's parents bought it and they
Yeah.
changed it to Frontline.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
think that's
Yes,
I think that's
what it was. That park was there, but that was
it's
so
hard.
far away
Yeah.
from me. You know what I mean? But in Sacramento, there was nothing, right? So the grind actually closed way before Board Wild opened. So there was
there was a
literally
gap,
like a
yeah.
6,
yeah,
7.
you never skated the grind, right?
No.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
no.
was
Indoor
that. Yeah,
park,
that
Zach
was.
Frontline for
I
me.
literally got
Born
to
in
skate it.
91, mind you.
Oh, 91. Yeah, I got to skate it. You were like 3 when it closed.
Exactly. I was at Milpitas Vans.
God damn,
Yeah.
time has flown by. That's why I can't remember dates. It's just too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You only have
FYs.
so much in your hard drive.
Right?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
gotta,
well,
I
you gotta get a
clean some out.
terabyte.
I'm telling you,
Upgrade,
man.
dude.
I
You
gotta
gotta
upgrade.
Get some stem cells shot
I
in
know
there.
stem cells in your
Tera.
brain, man.
But yeah, Power Inn opened, and then I just like randomly went there and just started doing tricks, and I was like, "Oh shit, I could!"
And you fell
I
back.
could
in
still
love with
skate.
it.
Oh,
You
okay,
can
cool.
never lose
Yeah.
the footwork. You just got to keep yourself in the motion. That's what I
Yeah.
tell people all the time. That shit is never going to leave you.
Well, luckily for me, I think what helped me was that I was literally doing 3 workouts a day
Yeah, yeah,
playing soccer.
yeah.
Like
yeah.
I played in college, so
Right,
like
right,
high school.
right.
I played like when I was in high school. I played on my high school team, a metro team, and an indoor team.
Oh, wow.
As well as had a job.
Oh, damn.
And
Yeah, so you had
you know
no
what I
time
mean?
to fucking
I had no time to
skate.
skate,
You
and
had
I
no
and I
time
was
to
trying to get
skate.
at girls too.
Right,
So
of
you know what I
course,
mean.
yeah,
There's
you got-
all
Yeah,
kinds
no,
of
you
crazy
gotta
shit going
fig-
on for me.
Yeah, you got-
and then that continued all the way into college, where when you got into college, that's 3 days every day.
Right,
Just,
right.
going. And then I took like a year or 2 off partying, but that I was still in shape because I was only like 21 when
Right.
Power Inn opened.
Yeah, that shape stays
Yeah.
with you when you're 21.
And then I started doing
Yeah.
construction. So
Right.
I was like, I was super hubbed. So I was
Right.
like, oh, stamina's not a problem. Strength isn't a problem.
Right.
Oh, I still have the footwork. You know, like these days, if I take a break off, that's my problem is the stamina.
Yeah.
It's like I'm just
Yeah.
like winded and my legs are jello.
Right.
Whereas
Cardio.
then my legs were so strong that it's like,
Right. Well, no, I understand. It's
Whatever,
funny you
you
say that. Between all of this, the one constant that I've had, I had the bad break when I was 12 or 13, the dislocation, where they scared the shit out of me and said if I did it again, they would cut it off. You know, and who wants to fucking be selling pencils on the fucking corner with the one
Right.
arm? You know what I mean? I started working out, lifting weights, riding bicycles, and eating good. And no matter how fucked up and what I went through since that time at 13 years old till right now, I kept that shit up.
Good.
I've been in the gym.
you encourage
for-
these guys
for-
to do it too?
I encourage him to ride bikes.
At least
I
eat healthy.
And eat healthy too. I don't want to be that guy, but fuck, does it?
Well, you don't have to preach
man.
at it.
Well,
Yeah,
when
there's a way to do it.
Encourage him.
Yeah,
You know.
encouragement,
yes.
advice,
Oh, no, yeah.
advice. You know what I'm saying?
He sets a great example.
But yeah, I mean, I do everything I can to fucking keep going. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
Well, and at your age, you have to.
you have to.
Because you have
And
zero
luckily, though,
recovery time.
I had the base. You know, even with my bad knees, I still ride my bike 75 miles a week, and I'm still in the gym.
75 miles a week?
Yeah, but that's not much for a bike guy. I
No,
know real bike
that's
guys.
not
I
a
know
lot.
real bike guys. That's not a lot, but I still do. Yeah,
You could put
It's
in
50 to
120.
75 a week. Yeah, without a doubt, every week, man. Yeah,
That's like damn near riding to San Francisco.
without a doubt, which we do.
Yeah.
Which we do.
We
you
rode
know what
from
I'm
his
saying?
house, San
I'm
Ramon.
serious about this bike
Bike
club,
club's great.
dude.
It's
I'm
not-
serious about this.
It's
bike
not
club.
riding your BMX.
You know
to the
what? One of the
skate
worst fucking rides were and
Treasure Island.
Treasure Island. Yeah,
We
you ever
rode
go to
from-
Have you gone to the DIY? You
Yeah.
got to go check that thing out. It's
I've never
pretty
been to
badass.
DIY there.
Ride
I've
your
been
bike
to,
But you can ride your fucking bike on the bridge now.
Oh hell
And
no.
then
we
up
did
and
that.
over and around. And this was when I figured I had to change my gear. I had all my Nikon shit on my back. I look like this fucking
Fully
guy here,
loaded.
you know what I mean? Worst day of my fucking life.
Hill
man.
climbing with all the gear.
It was the worst day of
Yeah.
my fucking
Fucking chain
life,
popped off. It was a
man.
mission.
Oh my god, I got some good clips though, and that's all that really matters.
See, that's the problem for me with biking is that you get 75 miles away, and then something
Yeah.
breaks on your shit,
Yeah.
and what are you gonna do?
Or you
Yeah.
get broke off.
Or you get
Yeah.
broke
Because
off.
we're biking to the skate spots.
Yeah. Or if you like.
Yeah,
just-
luckily
No.
has that happened yet? I don't think it has. I think the worst thing that happened
Carrie's
is
fucking
Carrie's
pedal.
pedal falling off.
I had to push
and
this
you
guy
having
for
to
like
push
5
him.
miles
Yeah.
because his pedal broke off. We left Bruce. Bruce stayed the night at our other skate homie's house and was like, "Oh yeah, we'll just go home and get to his truck. It's at BART station." Within a mile from leaving Bruce, pedal just completely breaks off. And me being the skater, I'm like, "Oh, I got a shoelace in my bag. I could just fix this." But the pedal won't move with the arm of the crank. It's stuck to the crank, so that just broke off again. So I ended up just pushing this guy all the way back. Dude, it was a mission.
Damn.
I
And then
gained my cardio points that day.
And I think Carrie
But then when I blacked
called
out,
my wife like on BART. Hey, do you think you come pick us up at BART?
he ended up lining up a minivan to pick us up from BART so we
Oh,
could get our
did?
bikes to your
sick,
house.
Sick. 'Cause
But that's
he
funny.
called my wife. My wife's all,
I
no.
can see him calling her, yeah. Fucking
She's
Carrie.
all, no.
Carrie's a shredder.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
Oh man. Okay,
Yeah.
so you did Pretty Shitty, right?
Yeah,
Did you film and edit all of that?
edited and filmed most of it.
Okay, so for people who don't know, Pretty Shitty was like a mini full length, like 10, 11
Yeah,
minutes
with
long.
a lot of iPhone and not knowing anything about filming.
And-
That's when I first started saying I want to start filming. That was my first little independent project.
That's
Yeah.
what's up.
You know,
Made a couple trips
and
happen.
again, without these guys, man, it would be nothing. I mean, you know, that's one of my missions too, is to get people to know these fucking 209 guys, man. And you know,
That's why
It's-
that's why I hit you up and try to get you on, dude.
I got
'cause-
a crazy
honestly,
schedule.
one of the best skateboarders in the world is sitting right next to me, and nobody fucking knows, man.
I'm that guy
because
with
they're
the
stuck-
arm brace.
Yeah, the bionic arm they call
People
it.
tell me
you
they
know
gotta
what
watch
I
my
mean?
footage twice just to make sure I wasn't wearing the brace in every clip. It's like, well, that's cool.
So
At least you're
luckily, I
watching my
had
shit
I
twice.
had the right people, man. And so that was when I first started to get into filming. And I'll tell you straight out right now, I'm not much better than when I did Pretty Shitty, but I'm trying.
No, dude, we got the
I'm
gimbals.
trying. Yeah, I got fucking drones and gimbals.
You got a
and
gimbal? What do you
fucking-
got?
Well, I got the gimbal
For
for
the
the
GoPro.
GoPro.
Oh.
But
It's
shit, that shit comes
oh,
out real
just some fun
good,
stuff.
man.
I was gonna say because
Shit.
I got a gimbal.
Yeah, but I'm thinking to get one for the Micro Four Thirds, but I got to figure that out first.
I got the Ronin.
You do? Yeah. I'm gonna get something like that.
I haven't used it for skateboarding yet though.
Really? Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it's a little too heavy.
No, it's not that it's gonna sound bad. I hope nobody's listening to this that
Cover
that
your
I
ears.
film with. Yeah, cover your ears. If I film with you, cover your ears. But I haven't had anybody that was worthy to bring it out. Really.
Oh no, I
gotcha,
get
yeah.
You know
that.
what I mean?
Fuck you guys, get it together,
Like-
man.
Film a part for this
So-
guy. He's got the equipment.
So I did a part for little Maddie Jesse. I don't know
oh,
if you
that
know.
kid kills it.
Car- dude, I
Right after that
Maddie Shred.
is when I got the gimbal.
rad.
Like right after
Right,
that, I got the
right,
gimbal.
right.
And then I did a part with little JT Miller. You know JT Miller.
familiar with
He's
that
a
name.
orbit.
I
He's an
could've
orbit
put it-
rider. Little blonde
No.
kid. That was his
I'd probably
Instagram
mistake
name.
him for Maddie.
Probably, but he's a little bit taller than Maddie. But I did a part for him, and then it just never worked out to bring that out.
Right,
You know,
right.
I was planning on it, and then
Right.
he actually got hurt, and we ended his part early. But since then, I haven't really been filming a lot of skateboarding.
Right.
So,
right. What, just because of work and this and
and that,
yeah,
and
no,
well,
I
and
know.
I filmed
I get it.
I filmed for Orbit.
Right. Right.
And we've just kind of been searching for something to do.
Right.
Tossing ideas around and taking our time with that. I'm filming with one of their riders right now, and I might bring it out on the next time we film with him because he's good.
Who is it?
His name's Darice.
Oh,
he's literally a no-namer from San Leandro, who is a badass.
San Leandro, shout out to Thrasher Park.
Dude, this kid, he's one of those kids that skates better switch than he does regular, and you're just like, wait, what? And just gnarly pop and super young.
Yeah, that little Matty Jesse kid, I went to high school with his dad.
Oh, did you?
How crazy is
with
that?
Matt?
How crazy is that?
Really?
How crazy is that?
We
were on the other
gnarly.
side of town. We were across the tracks. Maddie was on the the Soch part of town. We Daggers and ramp locals. We were the Daggers for sure. So we were on the other side of town, and there was a little rivalry from San Leandro High to Pacific High School. But I got to know him later in the years. He's a good guy.
He's a great guy.
He's a real good guy.
Yeah.
Man. Pretty much a badass too, man. Yeah.
Definitely a badass.
Pretty much a badass, man. But it's just crazy that
that whole family,
his kid is so fucking good.
Dude,
man,
that whole family is crazy, full of talent.
Yeah, I know.
Crazy full and
Yeah.
super nice.
Yeah,
I love that family.
Yeah.
They're great.
Yeah. Shout out to the Jesse. So
Yeah.
Jesse Boudreau then, right?
A little bit.
Oh,
We're
okay.
familiar.
You should try to film some shit with him.
He lives like 2 houses
dude.
down.
He's you know him, right?
Yeah, yeah. When I bought my house, this little kid down the street
Just showed up.
like 7 years old, ripping, like 4 houses down,
Those early
was
grab-
Jesse Boudreau.
Early
Well,
grab
how
360s.
crazy
Well,
is that?
what I mean by you know him is that
How good he is.
how hard it is to.
Well, I do.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
You know what I
I
mean?
do, but see, I don't have that.
That's
because
why
me
I'm
and
only-
his dad are really good friends.
Yeah.
I've known him since
Yeah.
he's a little kid.
We can get him out of there.
And I would love to film a part with them, but I'm so damn busy that
Oh, I would totally film a
I
part
don't
with
want to
him.
be like, okay, let's start something and then
Then-
film one time and
yeah.
don't see him again for. I don't want to do that to him,
Well, plus
I-
that guy, he needs a pro filmer
Yeah.
because you
Yeah.
can't just stand there and
Yeah.
film his
Right,
tricks.
right.
Yeah.
That's
right.
not doing him any
I've
justice.
filmed
you
some
know what I
clips
mean?
of him and I try my hardest and they came out good. I think I could do good with them.
You gotta be
know,
a pro filmer just to keep up with him on the
Yeah,
board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's so
Jesse's-
fucking good.
Yeah, that
He's
figgy
one of the
flip he
best
did at
skateboarders too,
Bob's,
man. Fuck, he's so good.
Yeah.
Man.
So I mean, I would love to, and every time I've met him, I've tried to like talk to him a little bit,
Right.
but he's so quiet.
Yeah, he's
and
super-
he's just very withdrawn.
just keep talking.
And I
to
respect
him, and
that.
He'll
So,
end up warming.
I
up
just
to
don't
you.
get very many
Yeah,
chances.
he'll if you just
don't.
talk to him a few more times, he'd end up warming.
He's
up
very
to you.
withdrawn.
Yeah, he's
So-
he's a great dude. man.
But
He's a
I
great
do
dude.
enjoy almost every time I'm at Town Park, he seems to show up there.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
Yeah,
Damn.
I just like to sit
Yeah.
down and just.
yeah.
Yeah, Bruce had a mini ramp in his backyard. We'd have barbecues, and then Jesse would show up, helmet, pads, early grab 360s to fakie on your ramp. We're just like, what?
Yeah,
Who is
total
this
mini
kid?
kid. How crazy is it
He
though? I
lives
bought a
down the
house and he
street.
lives
Yeah.
4
Down the
houses
street.
down,
That's
man.
gnarly.
Saw him first day. I'm like, what the fuck, man?
Jesse
And he was
kills it.
good then. He was good then, man. Yeah, I was gonna ask you if you catch my burps on here from the beer,
Oh,
and
no.
you can edit those out. That would be fucking great. If I fart though, leave that in. That would be funny, man.
So I had a question that I wanted to go back. I know we're going to go back a little bit, but just randomly, since I don't know him very well, I'm curious, why do they call him Meat Juice?
Oh, yeah, Ryan.
Okay, that's a good question.
So Ryan Carpenter, people heard
yeah.
before. I'm familiar with him. Like, I mean, if I saw him, I'd be like, hey, what's up?
Do you remember
know.
621? Was 621 right before it became
before-
Scooter Science?
yeah,
before
before
it became
Street
Scooter
Science.
Science. You know Scooter Science in Livermore.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
Okay, before it was
No.
Scooter
No, I'm
Science.
not. No, are you talking about Street Science?
Oh, Street Science. God damn, I always forget the real name.
I
got to
be neutral here. I got to be neutral.
Yeah.
I don't know those guys, so I got to be respectful.
No,
So before it became Scooter Science, it was 621, and a friend of mine owned it,
yeah,
and it was one of the best
rad.
shops ever.
Brad
And I've been
McLean, like,
skateboarding
lived
for
there.
however long, since 1975, 1976. One of the best shops ever.
Wait, so hold on. Let me time out. You calling them Scooter Science just because they sell scooters?
Yeah.
And is that? But they still sell skateboards, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay, so
Yeah, he's
just
a skate shop.
I'm gonna throw my just
I don't
devil's
want to
advocate.
get into a scooter.
I'm not gonna get into it.
I just want to bust
'cause I
Jeremy's
hate-
balls.
I hate scooters as well.
No, dude.
I'm just trying to bust Jeremy's
But just
balls
so
right now.
just to put it out there to the public that you gotta pay bills sometimes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I'm
no,
just,
I
I'm just
get
throwing
it.
that out there.
Okay, can I give you my opinion? And I don't want to debate this. I really fucking don't.
No.
But if you have to sell scooters to pay your bills, get into something else. That's just what I think.
Oh, I agree
You
with
know
that.
what I'm saying?
I agree.
I think it's.
But I'm just playing the other
I
side.
love Jeremy. He was on
You know.
Lucky when I was at Think. Okay, we started Lucky Skateboards and Lucky Bearings. I think he's a fucking great guy. I'm not fucking bagging on
Yeah,
fucking
Jeremy
Jeremy.
kills it.
Okay,
As a skater.
kills it as a skateboarder. It's all great and everything. If you have to sell scooters, do something else. I'm sorry, man. That's just the way I feel, and we can move on from it, man.
Yeah, we can move on.
Okay,
I
we
just
can move on.
I just had to make sure people heard
I'll
our.
call
you
it
know.
street science. It's okay. These guys are down with street science. I'm down with street science too.
I don't even know the guys. I've never even been
Jeremy's a great guy.
Jeremy
Anyway,
used to actually be on
Never even
Lucky,
been
you
there,
know?
so-
anyway, you want to know about Meat Juice? Let's get
Yeah,
back
let's go
to
Meat
the
Juice.
story.
Let's Meat
Back
Juice.
to Ryan.
Seems like I threw a fucking
Curveball.
Jeez.
there. Sorry about that.
You're okay.
Sorry.
I get what you're saying too.
Yeah.
You do
No,
have to pay the.
I'm just
bills.
playing
I mean,
neutral,
dude,
too,
I
you know.
mean, fuck, man. I worked as a prostitute in Thailand for a long time.
You got to do what you got to do. You know.
Shecky LaRue. But just to add to that, the original board shop was called Board Authority. And me, Joe, and Jose rode for Board Authority. And this guy who owned it, his name was Darren. And he sold go heads in the skate shop.
Yeah. Well, Darren was a different.
Jeremy
human
was
being.
the main dude in the shop as far as
And so, well, that's where
sponsored.
he got his
So
influence.
then Jeremy bought the shop
yeah.
from the dude and turned it into street science and kept the scooter thing going.
Yeah.
That's
no,
the only reasoning
know.
I can give.
I get it. I get it.
All right, Meat
I
Juice.
can't believe we got caught up on
Sorry,
that.
Meat
Yeah, I
Juice.
know.
Let's get back to.
Maybe you should cut that whole thing
Yeah.
out.
Nope.
No.
Let's stay
Okay,
in
I'll
there.
start
That's
over.
funny.
Okay, before Street Science, there was a shop called 621. They didn't sell scooters. Anyway, and they had the ramp there. Oh, you've never been there. You've
Never
never been
been.
to
But I
Street
know they
Science.
have a
Okay,
ramp.
so
Yeah.
they had a ramp.
The ramp was always rad.
They would throw contests. They were the best fucking contests. It was an after-hour shop. Some of the best. Like, Brad McLean came from there. You know what I'm saying? He rode for 621, man.
All right.
It was just one of those magical times in skateboarding, at least my skateboarding life, you know?
Yeah. Renegade shit.
And there was a guy who was an Elvis impersonator named Lord Cherry. And I have no fucking idea how we met this guy.
Lord Cherry.
Lord Cherry. You could probably look it up on
Is
the
he like a
interwebs.
wheat berry?
Rhymes with Wheatberry. I knew Wheatberry too, but let's not keep going
No,
down
no,
this
no.
fucking
We could
road.
go astray very easily.
And he had a shirt that said Meat Juice on it. I don't know what it meant. I don't know who Lord Cherry was. I don't like Elvis, okay? But he had a shirt, and he was selling them at 621 that said Meat Juice. And he gave Meat Juice one, and it looked so appropriate on him and so
Just
fucking
became the
perfect
fucking title.
that from that day forward, his nickname was Meat Juice.
That's fucking awesome. I didn't even.
I
know
wish
You
it
didn't
was.
know that?
I wish it was a better story.
that. Nah, Ryan kills it though.
I was expecting
But-
some elaborate, like.
some pornographic.
No. So I was thinking of like a meat related story, like he was like eating
Nope.
ribs or something and
You
had.
should
like,
see
you
the
know.
dude's ankle.
It's an Elvis related story, an Elvis impersonator related story, and it had nothing to do with scooters. Again, chop
Yeah.
that out. I'm feeling bad now.
Yeah.
I'm
No,
feeling
we
bad.
clarified. We clarified, and you saved it. You respect the guy, but you could talk shit if you want because you know the guy, right?
Yeah,
So-
yeah. I'm
Giving
let's
him a
just
hard
fucking drop
time.
it, man. Let's just drop it.
We're done.
All right, so I did have one. I have one question, kind of like a philosophical question,
Sure.
as
sure.
a photographer.
Right. Right.
We talked about it a little bit about the Insta generation and you starting to do
Yeah.
video, but
Yeah.
are you worried about the photo completely going away? Because with it, even you're shaking your head, but with the Instagram generation,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
they're creating a culture that has no attention span for anything but
Yeah. Yeah.
boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
photos
Yeah.
don't do that.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like the amount of artists and artist appreciators
Mm-hmm.
are diminishing
Yeah. Yeah.
because art is now becoming something different.
Right. You're right.
Okay, so obviously we don't look at paintings of portraits and think, "Oh my God, what a masterpiece!" anymore because we have photographs.
Right.
All right, but at one time, the painting was like, "This is the best it'll ever get."
Sure. Sure.
This guy's he can make images better than anybody else. And then somebody took a photograph and they were like, "Oh shit, that's the actual image. That's better than a painting." And then the art changed, and now the art is changing into videography. How cool can you make it look with your iPhone?
Right.
How fast? How many tricks can you get in 60 seconds?
Right.
Print is dying.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody knows that
Yeah.
magazine sales, newspaper sales, just
Right.
print in general is kind of going away.
Right.
Even down to billboards, because billboards are now digital.
Yeah, and they flip every
Exactly.
and you're fucking crash your goddamn car trying to
So
figure
right
out what the
now
next
they're
one
digital with just slideshows.
Yeah.
But in 5 years, obviously, they're going to be fucking HD 4K videos
Right. Yeah.
playing
Right.
up there.
Right.
There'd be an iPad up there.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
And you'll be able to put on those virtual reality glasses and be in the
We won't
fucking
even be in
video. You
reality.
know what
So-
I mean? It's.
So
I mean, who knows where it's going to go to, but it's going to get insane.
So are you worried?
So are you asking me, are photographs as valuable as they used to be? Because back in the day when it was filmed, there was way less photographs.
I'm more asking as a because you're a core in your core you're a photographer.
Sure.
Whereas like in my core I'm
Right.
a videographer.
Sure, got you.
Okay,
Got
so
you.
you're a
Got
core
you.
photographer. So
Got you.
in let's say 10 years from now, nobody wants to look at nobody wants to see photos at all of anybody anywhere because it's all video.
Just
It-
yeah,
you
the quick answer, and again, I've never been asked this question, so this is just off the top of my head, and I'm sure I'll be driving home later, and I should have
Still
fucking
thinking
said
about
this,
it.
and blah blah blah. No, I think paintings still matter. I think clay still matters. I think every art form still matters, and I think the cream's
Exactly.
going to rise to the top. I think a great photograph is always going to win out. Do I think the attention span and the eyes on it are going to be less? Yeah, totally, 100%.
Yeah.
And I also think there's just more great photographs now.
For real.
There's fucking people.
Yeah.
One thing has happened is the Instagram generation. It's created a bunch of great photographers.
Yeah, it
I
has.
see so many fucking great images every day, and
Yeah.
created on all this different shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But do I think it'll go away? No. I mean, a lot of people were saying that cameras are going to go away because of the phone, and to a lot of sense they have. But also, there's more dope cameras now than ever, and
Quality
people are buying
over
the fucking
quantity.
shit out
Yeah.
of them, and people are wanting to go from their iPhone into these bigger, better cameras. So that's a plus. You know what I'm saying? It's just to stand out, to be a Larry Clark or whoever you're into, an Ansel Adams even, or whatever. That's going to be a lot harder, man. But I think the art is always going to win out, and great art is always going to be there for people to fucking enjoy. You know what I'm saying? Is the art going to change? Yeah, it's going to get fucking weird, man. You know, the virtual reality is going to get weird, and the ability to create easy art, that might be a problem. The iPhone has a portrait mode now that you look like you fucking were in a studio.
Yeah.
That bugs me.
It does.
I just want somebody with a skill like you have to be the guy that people have to go to.
Yeah.
That's becoming less and less. And I don't like the fact when people get a couple good photos, they think they're a photographer.
Right.
That sucks.
No.
That
I say that
sucks.
all the time that
You
the
know,
iPhone's going to put me out of business.
And it
You know what I
could,
mean?
and that's a problem. And it might take back to less people might be doing photographs eventually, and it'll come back and be cool. You know, film's coming
Be
back
like
and
retro,
being cool.
yeah.
You know, and
Polaroid's coming
hipster,
back.
this, that, and the
I
other.
noticed that.
But honestly, my gut answer is that art's always going to win.
Exactly.
I really think art's going to win.
I like that
you
answer.
know? I mean, I really, really do.
I agree with you
Can
because you're right. The people still buy paintings.
Yeah.
In fact, now that you say that, you make me think that like a well taken photograph, a well exposed, well framed photograph, will actually be more expensive
Yeah, it could be.
because
Could be.
you know you can tell the difference between an iPhone photo,
Yeah.
you know, and someone that has a 3-light setup.
Yeah,
You can,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
portrait mode, it looks good, but when you have a bounce and you have
Especially a
light, you know,
large
light
photograph.
setups.
That's we just need to start blowing stuff up to show the difference.
Well, that's
You
I
know
mean,
what
that's
I
what I think. Like
mean?
an art show,
Yeah,
an art show,
yeah.
like a print,
Yeah.
will, you know, now we could go for a couple $100 at an art show, but 10 years from now, when photos are non-existent,
Yeah.
so it's going to be $5,000
Yeah,
for that
yeah.
photo.
You know, I what you made me think of something. The one thing that I do like about Instagram, I love Instagram. I'll be honest.
Me
with
too.
you. I wish I could post more. Is it hides all the blemishes?
Yeah,
So
filter.
you can really come across looking like a boss, man.
Yeah.
I got the Fuji XH1. It's their new answer to Sony, as far as filming goes. You know, the 120 frames a second and the 4K and the F-Log. You know, all the stuff that these cameras didn't have. I mean,
Yeah.
you could fucking make a movie on this thing. You know.
Yeah.
So I took it out and had a video shoot with my friends at Meridian Skateboards. My friend that he has something to do with Huff. I think he runs Huff. Shout out to Sweets. Keith. He started a brand, Meridian. Phil Lajansky. I don't know if you remember that name. One of the best skateboarders to ever exist. I forget who he was pro for back in the day, but he's their team manager. and he's got this squad of kids that like have big Instagram followings. But this kid Rafi, right? Yeah, Rafi Dodd. Keelan Dad's Dodd, whatever you say, tomato, I say tomato. His brother, one of the best skateboarders going right now. So they have this fucking squad, dude. They're killing it, man. And Meridian Skateboards is badass. Everyone look them up on Instagram, man. They're going to be, honestly, if anyone's got a chance to be the next thing, whatever that is, Meridian is the company. I'm telling you right now. But I went out and shot with these guys with this brand new camera that I knew nothing about. And again, I'm not a filmer.
Oh, you don't do that. Oh, you don't do that.
And fucking Rafi did a kickflip, backside, tailside, kickflip out, you know. And Black Jesus, he's one of the dudes on the team. I think it was a switch, backside, tailside, frontside, shove it out. I don't know, something fucking crazy. And then Phil Lajansky, the team manager, was just killing it. And I had all these fucking problems, man. The fucking clips came out like shit. Had all these flicker problems and fucking there was an upgrade that they didn't have in the camera yet that just came out. And I sent this back to B&H already, by the way, one of the cameras I sent back. And I was like, fuck, man, these guys trusted me.
That's why you don't test on...
Thank you. Beat a man when he's down. But it looks sick on Instagram.
There you go.
It looks great on Instagram, man. Doubt. So at least... it wasn't a complete loss, so that's why I like Instagram a lot. Yeah. It will hide the motherfucking blemishes and even make you look like a goddamn hero. You know what I'm saying?
I like Instagram just because of the amount of people that are on it.
Yeah.
Like the amount of reach. Yeah. I mean, literally almost all of my guests.
You got through Instagram?
Yeah. They either hit me up or I hit them up, but I used Instagram as a platform to
reach out.
And it's making people more creative, you know. It is turning people into photographers. They go from that and they get into filming or get into photography or they get.
And that's what I was saying, like with because right now it's like still the first generation of Instagrammers, right? Yeah. So they're gonna grow, and then they're gonna have kids, and then they're gonna teach those kids their art form, and then it's going to become a real art form, and then you know what I mean, the generation gap is
time
will
hit,
tell.
And then time will tell. But you know what? I'm excited, man. Every generation, there's been complaints, and there's been this is going to happen, and I mean, this is not on the same subject, but when cars came around and all the people that made horseshoes were screaming that we're going to be out of jobs. Well, the world corrected itself. Yeah. You know, there's no more people doing horseshoes. There was other jobs that were created, you know, and through this mass explosion of everyone can do art with their phone, it's going to create something really cool, man.
Yeah.
You know, what that is, I don't know, but we're seeing some of it.
Well,
you know?
Speaking of something creative and cool, your part that just dropped was an all iPhone part, right?
Yeah, Worski. He's on another level with that stuff.
So, Mr. Adam here just dropped a part for Nug.
Shout out to Nug, Jason.
Killing it.
Too many shout outs. Shout out to shout outs.
Shout out everybody.
This part was pretty amazing, dude. We can just let it play. Because this part was super sick.
Yeah, and it was all RIP. Someone ran that
thing's gone. That thing's gone, right? Yeah.
They ran it over.
I'm the only one to skate it. Some bikers hit it up.
But this whole thing was filmed on the iPhone.
Yeah, within a span of 3 months.
Adam Worski?
Yeah, we're about to do the same thing this summer. He's just getting a different schedule. He's a custodian, so he gets evenings off. So we're going to start doing this again. Try to film another part this summer.
With the iPhone and lights?
Same thing. He was getting hooked up by MongoPod, which is a Death Lens company. It's the same exact thing, just a different name. And we claim that this is like phony VX because you're filming VX quality stuff on a phone. That's his whole thing. He wants to not make it look so pixelated, but make it look at least to the point of and the same depth perception as a VX1000 video.
Yeah, and you got the rounds and everything too.
Yeah, he helped me a lot with my sponsors and stuff and making everybody happy. That's definitely the hardest part about skateboarding.
That's so gnarly, that hard flip. Yeah, one of the harder things about skateboarding is staying relevant.
Making everybody happy.
Making sure that you have enough footage for well, you have a bunch of sponsors, don't you?
Yeah.
So you got
it's
what?
The constant.
Ace Trucks, right? Nug. Who else?
Santa Cruz Boardroom, and then Bruce helps it out. I get Flow from Supra and Crew, but I don't think Crew's a company anymore.
We'll be starting to brand at some point.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm starting to brand with him at some point, but it's got to be perfect, man. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's got to be perfect, man. But the time will come. The time will come.
Well, I'm excited for that because you definitely need more exposure, Adam.
Yeah, I've been trying, man. I've taken some routes that haven't led me to the destination that I thought, but I think Bruce here is one of the
we're working on it, man.
I bridged the gap. Like I told you, I met Bruce when I was like 14, but we weren't really filming back then. I was just like a kid hanging out, and now it's to the point where I've developed into
It's serious.
the form of skater that I am now. And
it's serious now.
he knows that we can work together.
You got to enter one of those high ollie contests.
Yeah, I
that
wish I
might
was
get
at
some
that
eyes
one.
on you, man.
Because I'll be the shortest one to ollie that high. But I've always looked up to Danny Wainwright and all like the OG high olliers. So.
His record just got broken recently.
Yeah,
didn't it?
But by half an inch.
Who half an inch counts? Ask some
I
girls.
yeah, you guys
ask some chicas.
Dude, hard flip.
Who won that? Didn't two guys hit it?
It was two
Yeah,
guys
it
that
was
all
two
did the
guys.
same thing. I forget their
And what was
names.
that for? Was that for ETN? Yeah, it was
Yeah,
for
that was ETN.
ETN, right? Yeah.
The corkscrew.
I still remember reading the article about Danny Wainwright in Transworld and just seeing that photo of him,
Dude.
just knees up to his
Yeah.
ears.
The OG pop. Yeah, as long as
Yeah.
you can suck your knee up to your chest, you can get over damn near anything.
Just being utterly amazed because I was like, at that time, I was like ollieing over like 2 cinder blocks high, and thinking I was like,
Yeah, right. And then dude like him comes along.
and he's like,
No.
I'm like,
fuck, I suck.
I try not to intimidate. You're supposed to get stoked off skating, but I've come to realize that when you do it in first person, people get bummed.
do you think they get bummed?
Yeah.
What? Why do you think they get bummed?
Do you think
You
it's
sh-
because some people think you're showing
you-
off, you're trying to one
Yeah,
up
people think
them,
I
or-
show off, and it's like you show the potential of what you could do, and they're barely getting to what they could ollie over, so it's almost like a tail between the legs act, and then they don't want to talk to you while you're on the session. It's like, damn, I wish I didn't do that ollie. Even like a Gatorade, when I Smith kickflipped up the four stair, people were tripping, but that ledge is like this tall.
Yeah, you're talking about at Epic.
Yeah, at Epic, my bad.
Yeah, the 4 stair. I remember that.
Just
the
going up shit and
Smith
just-
kickflip up. Yeah,
Just doing high stuff.
I filmed that actually.
So I was telling
What
Bruce,
what happened with Epic?
Oh man,
bad investor, right? The first investor backed out, and then the
I
family
heard
had to
some
take care
crazy
of it.
stories. I was talking to the lady that like got it from the Sun.
yeah.
I don't know, man. She wanted to talk to me for like 2 hours about the whole ordeal, but it
Yeah,
sounded
she talked to
sketchy,
anybody about
man.
it. It was a sad story. We've talked about it on a few other podcasts already.
Oh, okay. I don't want to bring it back up.
It
Then.
basically, this is a standalone podcast, so people don't have to go back. It was poor planning in the beginning and mismanagement.
Right.
She tried to save it, couldn't. If anybody's thinking about opening up a big indoor skate park, the only advice we can offer is to fucking buy your building.
Yeah.
Because that's what did her in eventually, was having to pay rent. And on a 35,500 square foot warehouse,
Yeah, you guys were
rent,
chilling.
That
rent
place
is
was
not
beautiful,
you know
man.
what I mean?
For all you people that didn't get to skate it, man,
Sucks to be you.
You missed out. That park was on.
Definitely took it to the next level.
Top 3 wooden parks ever,
Oh, ever,
right?
ever.
When you say ever,
Ever.
yeah. And I'm not even sure what the other 2 that would be better than it are,
Dude,
but I'm just
Frontline.
throwing it out there, you know.
Frontline, maybe the barracks if you
No,
count
front
that as
line.
Are you
Frontline was
serious?
sick,
Frontline
It was
wasn't
sick,
that-
but nothing compared to
nothing
Epic.
compared. I hate
Imagine
to say
skating
it,
it now
man.
that that ramp was so sick.
Dude, yes, that ramp was sick.
Cardio
What, you talking
bash.
about the mini
Nothing.
ramp there? No, you're talking about the other. Okay, the mini ramp
Dude,
was sick.
Even the
Frontline as a
mini
whole.
ramp was sick. Nothing compared to Epic.
Nothing
dude.
compared
Nah,
to that. Yeah.
But before that, how many indoor parks
Well,
have we
Frontline
had in
had
NorCal?
nice
At the time, that was
It was
so
Frontline then.
you never got to skate the grind. The
No.
grind was
Yeah.
pretty fucking.
I got
Grind was
sick.
Milpitas
dope, too.
vans, but that was all the way in Milpitas.
Yeah.
You know, and then way back to the Kennedy warehouse in San Jose. I mean, that was sick too. But still,
Yeah, I'm the
still,
young
Epic
one
was
of the
but
crew.
still, it
It
wasn't
was so
epic,
clean.
man.
It
Yeah,
was so well designed.
so well designed.
But anyway, so
man.
if anybody
Yeah.
is thinking about doing it out there, just fucking buy your building.
Plan it out
Right.
right.
Buy your building
Right.
and build your ramps as you know what I mean. Like
Right.
they basically blew their wad on the ramps
Right.
and
Yeah.
couldn't recover.
And who built that? Was it California?
Payne.
Oh, Team Payne.
Team Payne.
That's not a cheap ticket right there.
No.
That's not a cheap ticket right
No.
there.
That's why I said
man.
they blew their wad on the
Yeah, and that's
on
why
the
it was
ramps.
so
On the
good,
build,
though.
yeah.
Man.
Oh yeah, it was
You know,
perfect.
yeah.
If they would have bought that building, they would have still be there.
Yeah.
If they owned and only had to pay property tax, guaranteed. The amount of money that they made, guaranteed.
So it was doing
Oh,
good.
yes.
Yeah.
oh, but
God
the
damn.
rent was like $33,000 a month or some shit like that. Like,
Wow. Wow.
Damn.
Wow.
How you gonna pay?
Wow.
We had like 12 employees and insurance. You know what I mean? Just
Wow. Wow.
And Monday through Friday, that place was kind of dead.
Oh, really? And then you guys probably let a lot of people in for free too, right?
It happens.
I mean, not really. We
Not as bad as some parks get. Some parks get bad.
There,
Some
there,
parks get bad.
we honestly had more kids try to sneak in and stay late than we
yeah.
did. We had a group of homies that would come in, and a few dudes would get hooked up. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like,
So-
oh, come on, everybody.
So what's a good bus story? Busting a kid. You got a good story where it got out of hand, and
no,
or no, people mostly just left when you caught them.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we had a few dudes like cuss us out and shit, but nothing. I mean, we rolled deep there.
Nobody tried to fight you or anything. Yeah, I've heard horror stories at other places.
No, and I mean, I'm not a small dude, but
Right.
I'm
Plus, you don't look like you take any shit,
No.
so that's what matters more than anything. You know what I'm saying?
And for me, when I was there, I was like one of the dudes that ran the floor more than anything.
Oh,
So
okay.
I have a very good way of I've got a good dad voice,
Right.
and I've got a good way of diffusing situations
Nice.
and making you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
And not know that I'm not. I don't have to yell at you to let you know
Right.
that I'm not going to take any of your shit.
Right.
I remember you being on the
Nice.
floor,
Yeah.
making sure everybody had their helmets buckled.
Yeah, the worst thing for me was most kids never wanted to buckle their helmet, and I don't
If you're
give a
gonna wear
shit.
the thing, you might as well wear it.
I don't give a shit
Let me
whether
guess.
you buckle
had
it.
some sort of insurance thing that
Well,
said you
yes,
had to.
and the lady,
the lady.
the owner lady,
lady.
was very adamant, like they need to buckle their helmets, and I'm sure it was an insurance thing, but so she would yell at me, she'd yell at us,
Right.
Go tell that kid to buckle his helmet, and so I'd have to go over there, hey bro, and he'd do the. Oh, I got my iPod in. I'm just gonna skate right, but I'm gonna skate as fast as I can. And 35,000 square feet, he skated all the way to the other end of the park. By the time I got over there, he's skating down. Come on, bro, buckle your helmet.
I'm getting fired over this.
Nice. Nice.
So that was the worst of it. In fact, for me, the major stories were people breaking shit.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Dylan
like that
got
was.
broke off in there.
I came in right after that.
Yeah.
Dylan had already had that happen, but I watched.
Wait, what
He
happened?
broke his elbow on the
Dude,
hubba.
he got a haul of meat.
Yeah.
he went to crook the
fucking
8
folded
hubba,
his
Right.
shit
and he slipped back.
and just snapped his
Dylan.
elbow.
Dylan Bennell.
Bennell.
Oh,
Yeah.
Filmer Dylan.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
He
know
kills
Dylan.
it on the board.
Damn.
Oh yeah, he's gnar, and he was super
But
gnar.
I think that's when he took a step back and just stayed behind the counter.
That's when he started skating tranny,
Gotcha.
because that's all you could really skate was tranny.
Really?
So
Yeah.
he started skating tranny,
Makes sense.
and that's why he's so good at tranny now, because it's all he skated after.
Yeah.
And his
that.
brother rips too.
Yeah, Jordan
Brother's
kills it.
crazy
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
Jordan Bennell, he
that's-
is crazy good. I just saw him the other day, and he's
Nice.
gnar,
It's
dude.
rad when brothers both
Gnar.
rip.
He was on I was a team manager at Epic, and he was one of
Oh,
my.
cool.
He was one of my writers.
Yeah, I didn't know
there,
you guys
so-
had a team.
Yeah, we had
That's
a team of like
cool.
12 kids.
That's cool.
All under 18.
Nice.
We traveled.
nice.
I got Jan to give us a budget, and we went to all contests and the Am Jams, and
Oh,
I
cool.
took him traveled to Marina a bunch of times, and
Oh, rad.
That's what's up.
yeah. So that was a really fun time in our lives.
Yeah, right,
That was like
man.
my magic years. of-
Those road
you know.
trips, man.
For
When
sure.
you're going through them, they're the biggest
Well, now,
blast. But then what you remember. the
Imagine
best,
if
you
all
know?
of them were underage.
Well, that would be crazy.
And then you're a chaperone.
That would be crazy.
Crazy, dude. Having
I-
to deal with these 12.
I didn't go on underage trips. Oh, I only did when I was younger. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Well,
We
no,
used
I was
to-
like 14 on one of the trips, but that's the youngest I think anyone was.
Well,
I was
and
always the Grom.
They were from 12 to 18. So I had
Wow.
10 to 18 because my youngest was 10, and his dad always.
So
had
so
him.
then how was
But
it then? Then how
That
was
doesn't
it?
seem so bad.
It was,
And-
just, it was just gnarly keeping them
Right.
under wraps.
And you've gone on road trips
Oh,
with
yeah.
older dudes
Oh,
too,
yeah.
of course.
Yeah, and with
yeah,
the company
with
that
the
I
homies.
worked with, I had like 5 dudes that we'd go to SF all the time.
Nice,
and like,
nice,
So
nice,
I've done
nice.
both. I've done the
Right.
chaperone road trip and then the beer drinking road trip.
Right.
I like the beer drinking road trip better. It's more fun.
More likely to get prostitutes on
Yeah.
the beer drink.
We don't we don't mess with prostitutes, but
What was the youngest road trip you gone?
I think it was 14, yeah.
14?
But I was 17 when we went to San Diego.
I was 10. That shop custom line I was telling you about. Winnebago, all older dudes. I was the youngest guy by fucking 8 years. We went up to Reno. There was a skate park. This is back in fucking, when, who's that N-Man guy, Randy Caton? It's back when he was a pro, back in his heyday. There was a park out in Reno, and we went out there. The first time I saw people do cocaine. First time I
of
saw
those
people
eye-openers.
smoke weed. First time I saw a lot of shit, man. But fuck, it was skateboarding, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was the time of my fucking life, man. But it was an eye opener, man. It was a eye opener. Definite eye opener. I mean, they had no right taking a 10-year-old on a fucking road trip.
Going on a mission.
You know?
No, not with cocaine, weed, and
Well, you know, the funny thing is, it wasn't the dudes I was with that were getting blown out.
Oh, okay. So
it wasn't the dudes I was with.
They just took you to an inappropriate
They were
place.
Christians, and they were. We went to. You're not going to know this, but there was a brand called Logan Erskine, and the whole team was there. Laura Thornhill was on the team. I don't know if she was there, but the Logan brothers were there. It was this big demo, and they had a bunch of groupies, and that's where I saw it. It was all the groupies on the big team at the time. You know what I'm saying? Shit you'd still see today, you know? But walking in on a bunch of older dudes blowing lines, it's a little weird. That's how I remember it, and I don't remember a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? I remember that
one
man.
stuck.
Yeah, that one stuck, man.
What are we at? What time are we at? What do we got here? It's only 10? Oh, cool. All right.
How long we been going for?
Can we do like a commercial break? I'm about to piss my pants.
Yeah,
dude.
let's take you want to take a little break? What time? How much we got?
Not to be rude at all.
Dude, go ahead.
Oh yeah.
go
I
ahead.
didn't want to just like bail like
No.
that. Chug so much water at that session.
No, we could keep chatting, or if you want, let's take.
We keep chatting if you want. If you have another
need to
question
take a
for
break?
me.
Yeah, let's take a break.
Break?
Let's take
All
a break.
How long we been going for?
All right, so we'll be back in now. All right, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. So during the break, we got a couple presents that Bruce wanted to tell me a little bit about. So we got a couple boards here. First one you said was the website board.
Yeah.
Four-wheel.
Yeah, these are the boards that are going to be available on the website. Now, the cool thing is you know, I got a ton of different shapes. Regular standard shapes, I got a few different models on. And we got the shaped boards as well. Honestly, the best wood in the business with free shipping, and it all goes to road trips for these rippers. So support us, man.
It all goes to
And
skateboarding.
It all
people.
goes to
Skateboarding for
skateboarding,
skateboarding.
man. Yeah, it goes in my pocket, and then right out of my pocket for beer and food and gas and the whole nine.
And
you know,
skateboarding.
to keep the website going, man. You know.
All right, and then the other one is one of the ASF. It's so this is a foil,
You
gold
know,
foil.
I'm not here to pump the company too much, but if you do need boards made, and I got to be honest with you, we are turning down a lot of business now, man. We're
Really?
the factory's at capacity. You know, God, we used to offer people the moon. We do 15 boards for people, 25.
That's really
Not
low
anymore.
orders.
I personally won't take an order under 100, and I like them to be 500 to 1,000, to be honest with you. I have other reps that will take the smaller orders. You could try to get in. You know, if you can't, I'll let you know where to go. Definitely send you a free sample, and if you can do 50 boards at least, I'll get you over to my boy Israel. He'll take care of you. He takes care of the smaller stuff. You know what I'm saying? And we'll get you the best board you could possibly get. You know what I mean? The best board you could possibly get.
This board looks pretty legit. We were talking about the shape.
Yeah.
Because you have some pretty cool shapes.
Yeah,
So the
yeah.
cool thing about this one, so people can see, it has a nice street tail, like round,
Right.
you know, new school tail.
Right.
But then we have
It's like a
the
Coca-Cola
fun,
bottle.
Right.
the fun flat, almost
Right.
shark,
So
almost shark
I
nose.
call that the reverse mullet. And the mullet's party in the back, business up front.
Oh.
This is business in the back.
Party
and you
up
got a little
front.
party up front, man. Yeah, yeah. So
The
that's for
sickest
you. I
description.
want you to ride that.
I'm gonna ride
let
this.
Let me know what you think of it,
And
man. You know?
Mr. Zach Shaner, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. I know you like this shape. Look at it.
Or
Hit
the
him up.
shredder.
Hit him up.
We should do some about that ender boards.
Oh,
You know,
yeah?
for you, I do a small run. For homies, I'll
yeah?
still do a small run. You know what I mean?
About that ender board.
You
And
know
then
what
we
I'm
could, like,
saying? I mean,
and then we could like do a contest.
and well, or you know,
give 'em
you
away.
could put them on the site and make a little extra. I mean, the thing is, you have to keep these businesses going,
Yeah.
man. And there's nothing wrong with putting some product out there in order for that to happen, especially if it's good fucking product, man.
Sure.
You could have some killer shapes, a rad graphic as cool as you want it to be, and
Or-
make a couple extra bucks.
Or what if we did a collab and we did an about that ender graphic
yeah, yeah,
on one of you.
yeah.
Can I get a,
already
can I
got
get a,
the- already-
can we get a pro model?
Yeah, I already-
Can we do like
How about a
Cheech and-
co-pro model?
Can we do like a
How
Cheech
about
and Chong
a
about that
co-pro
ender?
model? A former Epic employee pro model, man. That would be fucking sick. That would be sick. But for real, do you put stuff in the liner notes? I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
When you put it out, I'll get you all of our info.
Okay.
Hopefully, we'll answer the phone for you.
Yeah.
And we'll get you some money.
Okay, so if you're listening to this and you're
Yeah.
thinking about making some boards and you want to know where to go, check out the link in the description.
Yeah.
We'll put some.
There'll be a
links to-
couple different links depending on what level you're at. You know what I'm saying? If
Yeah.
you want big numbers, someone will take care of you. If you want smaller numbers, we'll take care of you, man. For sure. For sure.
And then obviously people could always just hit you up on Instagram at
Instagram.
4WBS.
And at Clutch Distribution.
Clutch Distribution.
Yeah, that's gonna still stay no matter what, and you can hit me up and we'll do some business.
Yeah,
through
send
that,
them a message if
definitely.
you want to get started on anything.
Definitely.
Because it sounds like
All
you're
of
the
our
man.
shapes are on at Clutch Distribution too, and a lot of the info.
Yeah, I've
you know.
I don't know if you remember, but we chatted a few years ago when Epic was looking at doing boards.
Yeah,
and
no,
when,
I remember.
And when my company
Yeah,
was
I
looking at
remember.
doing some
Yeah,
boards.
I remember. Yeah,
And
yeah.
we ended up doing hats instead of boards. I wasn't the one making.
I get it.
I wasn't the one making decisions.
I want to do hats,
but we could get hats
Yeah,
for $4 a piece
no,
versus boards
all
for
good, all
17 or
good.
whatever. You know,
Right,
it's like,
right.
and then we knew we could sell hats. It's like everybody's
Right.
selling boards. Not everybody was
Yeah,
selling
that's
hats.
the thing. It is a weird economy in skateboarding right now.
It's always a
Everybody-
weird economy in skateboarding.
It always is, yeah.
And I
That's
talk,
a good point.
I talk about
It
this a lot.
always
That
is. It always
skateboarding is one of the few industries that every participant would die for it, but no one will spend money on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the few and far between. It's the
Yeah.
dads that are keeping the skate industry alive, buying their.
And
you know
as
what I
soon
mean?
as a kid gets a certain amount of skill, they want everything for free.
They don't want to buy
man.
nothing anymore.
They want to get the hookup. You know what I mean? It's strange all around, man.
It is.
But you know, like we were talking about with art, though, a lot of these little companies that come to us, they end up getting big.
Yeah,
You
pizza.
know, one
Welcome.
out of how many ever end up getting freaking big,
Yeah.
man. You know, and everyone's got the chance, man.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, it's fucking hard, and that's why I say that me and him are gonna start a company. But it's got to, dude. The stars have got to be aligned,
Yeah.
man, because it's rough. It's
Well,
rough.
that is the advice that I give because I've consulted with a few small business owners where
Yeah.
they just like, hey, let me chat with you, see what you think about starting a company.
Mm-hmm.
And literally the first thing I tell them is find somebody who has a following.
Yeah.
That's all
Yeah.
you need.
Yeah.
You could literally have shitty product.
Right.
And if you have a
Right.
Paul Rodriguez,
Yeah.
you're gonna
Yeah.
fucking sell all your shit immediately.
That's another thing with the internet age, man. You find some of these
Based off
kids with
numbers.
60, 70,000 followers on Instagram, you can instantly start a company.
Easy.
It's hard to talk these kids into it. We've tried to. They just don't get
it's
it.
money.
I'm not gonna.
Money, you
know,
gotta
I'm not
money
gonna-
talks.
Yeah, I
That's-
mean, but it's crazy. If they got the following, you can instantly start selling boards.
Yeah, they
You
have
know
such
what I mean?
a broad reach.
Yeah.
Well, what's crazy about the skaters is I don't think that they quite realize yet
No.
that some of the like take like the Instagram models or whatever. I just heard a stat the other day that they're like you're looking at like $20,000 to $30,000 per post
Yeah.
with some of these people that have like the million
Yeah.
followers or whatever.
Yeah.
So as a skater,
Yeah.
you're like, dude, I'll ride your stuff and post once a week. You pay me $3,000 a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's coming
And
out
it
of
would
that.
Yeah.
done. Company
Yeah.
would jump on. You got
Right.
50,000 followers. They'll jump
Right.
on that,
Yeah.
and they don't get it. They're like they don't
No.
understand that you could
No.
just go to the skate park once a week and make freaking
Right.
you know what I
Right.
mean.
Yeah,
Make
it's
$5,000
great.
a month, no problem.
Right. It's a new economy, man. It's a
Listen
new
to me. If
economy.
you've got 100,000 followers out there and you're just posting shit on the skate, what the fuck are you
You need
doing?
to get on
Yeah,
that
and hit me
financial
up.
standpoint.
Let's start your board brand next week.
Right?
Come on, let's at least try. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Send me a graphic. Let's get it going, man.
All right, so I wanted to shift gears just a little bit before we wrap up. Adam, I definitely want to have you on again, like with your own episode, so
Oh,
we
yeah,
could
for
talk
sure.
about like all your footage. But just briefly, for my own curiosity, what's with the arm brace?
Okay. Well,
Just because I've seen,
good question.
so for people
Yeah,
who don't know,
question.
for
It
people who
is
don't
the
know
question.
us, I've been photographing contests and events that you've been appearing in. So
And
we
I've
don't
always
really
had it on.
we don't really know each other, but I've seen that arm brace for at least the last like 6-7 years,
I've been wearing it for 10.
and I've been curious, what's up with it?
So I was in the Mountain Dew Flow to Pro contest, and I snapped my arm 20 minutes before the contest started.
When was 10 years ago? You said.
Yeah, it was in 2006. So it was almost 12 years. I went through a two-year process where I almost quit skating to get my arm back. They wanted to chop.
But where and how did you do it? That's the
I was
key.
frontside flipping over the Sunnyvale Pyramid, over the top. Okay. And I just put a brand new pair of Bones STFs on. And it was right when STFs came out. No one knew what they were about.
How slick they were.
Yeah, they were just super smooth, super hard. You don't get flat spots, so everybody wanted them. So I picked up a fresh set, had the whole Christmas complete, took it to the contest. I got second in the contest the year before, and my friend Jeff Ward had won. Went to the PlayStation Pro, won that, or went to the Toyota Challenge, won that, and then went to the PlayStation Pro and won that. That's how Ches Ortiz and Ryan Sheckler made names for themselves. They went from Mountain Dew Flow to Pro. Okay. Then when I met you, I was doing the Gatorade Free Flow Tour, which had already transitioned into. Yeah. So that was my full circle moment when I came back to that contest where I almost got done with skating. So like I said, I snapped my arm 20 minutes before the contest started. The dudes that hold the contest were like, you got second the year before. We thought you were going to win this year. Like, you were supposed to be the next Flow Pro.
Why'd you snap your arm?
Yeah, why'd you do that, bro?
Dude, it just shit fell out of place. I tried the frontside flip, slipped out, and put my arm out and just wet noodled. So we call the ambulance. They don't show up. And I'm sitting in the parking lot just holding my arm, and the bones are sticking out of my forearm. I'm bleeding all over my shirt, and my dad just, like, shitting a brick. So he's like, I'll drive you to the hospital. We'll figure it out. This is 2006, 2007.
So how long did you wait?
Waited almost 3 hours before I even got
3 hours?
It was a long wait. And then my dad finally just drives me to the hospital, and we pass the fire department as they're coming to the skate park as we go there.
Are they flipping them off?
No, we end up flipping it and meeting them in the parking lot, and the fire department won't take me to the hospital. They give us directions to the hospital. This is why it took us so long to get there. So then my dad finally gets me to the hospital, and I have to wait another 6 hours because they didn't have an orthopedic surgeon that wanted to operate on my arm. I had dirt in my bone marrow, and they were convinced that my arm was going to get gangrene in the marrow and die from the inside out. Wow. So the dude just being an asshole to my dad, he's like, we're not even going to do x-rays. We're just going to amputate it at the elbow. We're not going to save this. My dad was just livid. He's like, this is my son. I was my freshman summer of high school.
You're like 14 years old?
No, I was 16 going on 17. It was 2 weeks before my sophomore year of high school started. So I just wet noodled myself. I'm in the hospital. Like I said, my dad's like, this kid's got a life to live. He's in high school. You're going to take away his penmanship. He's right-handed. And the doctor's like, well, I guess he's just going to have to learn how to write with his left hand.
Shouldn't have been skateboarding, bro.
Just being a fucking dick. I wish I had a sports doctor because this was just a typical Kaiser. The dude was just pretty much telling me, like,
the worst place
telling me to quit skating. We're going to chop your arm off. You need to live a different life. And my dad's like, no, fix it. The guy's like, well, I'm not even going to take x-rays because even if I did, you wouldn't know what to do with them. Just insulting us from the get-go. So long story short, 6 hours go by. Kaiser calls an orthopedic surgeon from San Diego, flies him out, and they're filling me full of morphine, 5 vials full of morphine. I'm just laid out by the time the dude shows up. He doesn't ask me any questions of how I did it, what I'm doing with my life, where I'm going, anything. Doesn't know what happened. He just realigns my arm and gets me through the surgery. So I wake up the next, like after the surgery's done, I wake up and then talking to the doctor. He's like, yeah, I'm a sponsored skateboarder. I was on Force Trucks at the time.
Right.
I was on Cali Skates at the time, and I was on Duff Flow. Oh, no, that was after Duff had ended. I was on DVS Flow through Tony.
Right.
He was giving me DVS shoes. Right. So I was already sponsored in the 8th grade by Duff Shoes, so I was already moving up the ladder. And I was supposed to win that contest and flow to pro. Like I said, everything was aligning, and then I fucking snapped my arm. So it's like, this dude wants to amputate my shit. They put these metal six screws in each bone, the ulna and the radius, so I have 12 screws total, which I could show you right here. I brought those.
You brought the screws?
Yeah, I told him I needed to save them because it's almost like a trophy. So you're going to put these in my arm and take them out 10 months later. I'm keeping them. I did the same thing with my wisdom teeth.
So 10 months?
I kept them in for 10 months. It was just to realign my ulna and my radius, and then they took them out because I snapped my arm 2 inches below the elbow, and they were convinced that if I kept the metal in and I took a same fall, it would just dislocate my elbow or my wrist. It would put too much pressure on the joints. So like I said, I quit skating for almost 12 months, and I just rehabbed. Went back to school, took a bunch of extracurricular stuff like drafting, blueprinting. I got totally waved out of PE.
So what was the rehab? Did you like lift weights and shit?
I went to physical therapy, and after I got done, I'd wake up the next morning, and my arm would just be stuck in an L, and I couldn't even move my arm out of like a sling position, and I knew like something was wrong. So I can kind of show you. I don't know if you can actually document this. I don't always wear the brace, but
when he does, he rips.
I wear it when I skate because it's a mental thing, but what I'm left with is almost like what my arm was when I was like 12 years old. My wrist is super pinner because the scar, they cut me down twice. So when I flex,
Okay, so for people who can't, because we're on iTunes, SoundCloud, so
Right.
some people are just listening. He's shown us his forearm, and I don't think we explained it either. But he's wearing a full brace that's like from the shoulder.
It's the same brace
all the
you
way
get
down to the
when
wrist.
you dislocate your elbow. It's a radial splint.
Yeah, so for people who can't see it, it's one of those that has like the circles that help bend your elbow, and then it goes literally shoulder to wrist. And he just took the bicep or the forearm part off, and like 6 inches from where your hand starts to like where your forearm should be. There's just like a gnarly divot, there's like lots of shit missing there, and lots of scars.
This is the best part. It's just sitting at the bottom.
Oh, Jesus.
Because they cut me open twice. It's like a canyon or a valley. There's so much scar tissue there. It doesn't wrap around the forearm naturally.
How strong does it feel? Like, does it feel strong?
I could do push-ups. I mean, it feels strong,
do you
but
still
it doesn't
work out to try to
Yeah, I stay
keep it
physical.
pumped? Yeah.
As far as working, like I was telling you today, I was floating walls, floating tape texture stuff. I'm a painter. So, I mean...
Oof.
But you just don't feel safe without that brace, right?
I feel like if I took that same slam and I went through the same ordeal, they're really going to chop it off.
Ooh.
So I just protect it. It's a mental thing more than a physical thing because technically it's healed. But they told me once they took the 12 screws out, it's like a pothole in the road. Yeah. And eventually those potholes will get fixed. And your bones will naturally do that themselves versus like the Caltrans fixing it.
Now that brace, will it protect you? Have you fallen on it?
I feel like it stops me from moving my wrist and making your ulna and your radius crisscross. Because they tell you there's a certain way to fall, but you can't do that every time you take a spill.
No.
You can't fall vertical
sometimes
or horizontal.
Sometimes
they tell you like
keep
your hands
so
a certain
quick.
way.
There's no way.
It's split seconds. So this is, like I said, a mental thing. I've fallen all over it. But as far as this part, elbow to wrist, I feel like is the most important part. But if I were to disassemble it from here, it would take away the leverage I have. Because like I said, I snapped it right here, 2 inches below the elbow. They say it's the hardest part of your arm to break, and I wet noodled it.
Jesus.
There's I didn't print out all the memorabilia, but I'll show you the...
That is gnarly, man. Every time I hear that story, it's just as gnarly as the first time.
Dude, I don't know if you guys can look at this. Fucking, that is...
Yeah, it's fucked.
Ugh.
Yeah.
And then the other side is my left shoulder.
What'd you do to your shoulder?
Dislocated it.
Yeah, he's got to have it popped in at the session sometimes.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Like
bro.
tricks and my shit'll
The
pop
first
out.
time I had to do it freaked me out, man.
But it just
It
like,
doesn't
hey,
freak me out
just
anymore.
Do this,
Yeah.
and it just like pops right back in.
Yeah.
I did something to my rotator cuff.
That's no good, man.
No, it's just like they told me if I were to
What
get
about you? Any big injuries? No?
I mean, no, not really.
I mean, since we're sitting around talking about injuries, no.
I mean, I've had some pretty gnarly shit happen to me, but
Right.
not with skateboarding.
Oh, okay.
I've had some pretty gnarly... I mean, I had one gnarly injury. Oh, Jesus. These were in your body.
Yeah.
These were inside you. That is gnarly.
Yeah, those screws are kind of long.
Dude.
But like they said,
fucking
now I have
crazy.
12 weak points on my forearm. Because if you run your finger down my forearm, you can feel
You can
6
feel
divots
the-
on
yeah.
each bone. It's like a pothole in the road. So I feel like if I don't have this and I fall, there's 12 possibilities of another snap. Whether or not it's been 10 years or not, my bone's not normal. The scar tissue wrapping around my bone isn't normal.
Do you have any nerve damage there?
Yeah, they told me they'd give me a third surgery because when I first came out, my wrist was numb like it was asleep. They're like, oh, we probably cut a nerve when we were doing an incision. We can do another surgery and fix that. I was like, and you guys are going to cut another nerve while you do that incision? I'm good.
Yeah.
I walked away at that point.
Did you is it... how, no,
it's all there. I have a
all there.
lot of feeling.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy. That's my story. They wanted to chop it. I kept it. And people were like, oh, you're not healed yet? And they give me a lot of grief. They're like, oh, you're just wearing that for attention. But when I take the time and tell them the story of what I went through, it's like, dude, I'd wear it too.
I mean, so I had an incident about 12 years ago, 12 or 13 years ago that I still have nerve damage from. I was into an accident where I got a laceration from the back of my left ear all the way to my esophagus.
Damn.
So
What was it?
I don't know if you can see.
A blender accident?
But,
What?
so there's my beard's pretty
Weed
thick right
whacker?
now. Actually, it was an attempted robbery.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Dude, that's like what happened to Skyler. He got beat up with the brick. They talked about that. His whole ear
What,
was
here,
like hanging
here in
off his-
Sacramento?
Yeah.
The mean streets of Sacramento. Ain't
Yeah.
no joke.
That's rough, dude.
It's no
Yeah.
joke.
But yeah, I still have nerve damage from that because he cut basically all the way down to hit the jugular.
Damn.
So did he come from behind? Or
No, I was
what
actually in my
was the
car.
story?
I was in my car.
Have you told this on the
No, I
podcast?
haven't.
Okay,
No,
might
I
as
actually
well.
haven't talked about it in a long
This is
time.
like
Might as well, if
situation.
we're sitting around going over injuries.
But yeah, I was in
Might
my
as well.
car, and my buddy ran into the liquor store to grab a pack of smokes. He comes back. I'm reversing. My car's reversing. All of a sudden, I feel like I hear something hit the car on my driver's side,
Right,
and I'm
right.
looking over my right shoulder, backing out of my parking space, like here, you know. And I look, and there's a dude who had just like ran and just,
Wow.
you got any money, motherfucker? You got any money? And I was just like, whoa, no, dude. And then all of a sudden, boom, he just like had something in his right hand and just
no.
came up, boom, hit me and took off. I grabbed my neck. I was like, and my buddies were in the car with me, and they were like, what the fuck just
Yeah.
happened? Did he? And I was like, dude,
I'm
they're like,
bleeding.
did he just punch you? Because it just
Right,
looked like that, and he
right.
ran off. And I'm like, I don't know, dude. I think he cut me. And they were like, nah, what? No. And I asked the dude
Wow.
behind me, like, do you? Because I wouldn't let go of my neck. I was holding on to it.
Right.
And he's like, I was like, you see any blood or anything? He's like, no, I think you're good. But it was like 11:30 at night.
Yeah, you
So
couldn't
he
even
was
see.
like, no, I think you're good. So I just peeled out. I lived right down the street. I was gonna take off, and then sitting at a red light.
Yeah, I was gonna say you didn't get all the way home.
Because like right out of the parking lot, I ran into a red light.
right.
And then I just felt it.
R-
Just like I'm like literally choking myself, and I could
Right,
feel it
right.
just like hitting the inside of my hand like this.
Holy
Like that's what the blood felt like.
Yeah,
Just
because
like,
then you started to panic.
and then I was like, oh, he fucking cut me. Boom, slammed on the gas. Light instantly turned green. I went through the intersection, and a cop with no lights on
Right.
pulled out of this parking lot right on the other side of the intersection. I almost hit him because he didn't have any lights, no headlights on or
Right,
anything.
right.
He literally was just pulling out of this parking lot. About 150 yards up was another cop with somebody pulled over for a traffic stop, and he was just going to help them.
Right.
And I
right.
almost T-boned him, and then slammed on my brakes. He pulled up. I was honking my horn at him. He pulled over. I pulled over. I hopped out.
Yeah,
I just
showed him.
I started running up to the car. He got out, drew his gun.
Wow.
Well, because he didn't know.
Yeah,
you
no,
know,
I get
drew
it.
his
No,
gun,
I get it.
flashed
I
on him.
get
He was
it.
like,
Right,
"Stop right there!" So I
right.
stopped, and I was just
Right,
like, "Hey,
right,
bro, I
right.
need help." And I looked down, and that was the first time I saw. I was just
You were
I was
covered.
covered, dude.
Oh
Covered.
my
Damn.
God, Keith.
Covered, bro.
Damn.
Yeah.
Life
fucking-
ain't easy.
How
That
many
was like-
years ago was
Life
this?
ain't
I was like
easy,
12 years
man.
ago.
Oh, okay,
It was like
yes.
12, 13 years ago.
Damn.
Um,
How old are you now?
I'm 34.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's
So that's like
fucked up, dude.
almost 14 years ago actually now,
Wow.
because I was like just turned 21. Yeah, it was right before he met. It was right before we. Yeah, you met me right after that. The scar was still fresh and shit.
Damn.
Yeah, I can kind of.
Yeah, I mean it's
Yeah.
it's
now that
so
you
long
pointed
ago.
it out,
You can
yeah.
see like the divot or the
Yeah,
bump on my
yeah,
neck.
yeah.
Yeah, dude, it was gnarly for a long time, and I still have nerve damage. Like my left ear, this whole side of my face is like if like you touch it wrong, it just like lights a fire.
Wow.
Huh.
And it's-
Wow.
But
Wow.
there was a moment, and I don't wish everybody could go through a life or death experience, but there was a moment where I was sitting on the curb, literally watching. Like the cop threw me a towel and was like, "Sit on the curb." He like didn't even want to look at me. He was like, "Go sit on the fucking curb. I'll get you some help." I'm sitting there, which felt like an eternity. Obviously, it was probably like
Right.
2 or 3 minutes.
Right.
But I'm holding a towel, a big white like hotel towel that had already soaked. I could feel the whole thing was wet.
Right.
And I looked down, and the blood was actually pooling up in my shorts. So I'm sitting on the curb. Picture that. You know, you're sitting on the
Yeah.
curb, your knees are kind of up, and I'm literally watching the blood pool up in my
That
lap.
had to freak you out, yeah?
It was a moment where I was like, okay, I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I was like, okay.
Right. Yeah.
Getting past that
Yeah.
makes me look at every day, like literally, even 14 years later now,
Really.
every day is still. I'm thankful. I'm thankful for
That's
being
killer.
here. I'm
You took it
thankful.
Too
That's
close
killer.
to the edge.
Too close, dude. Too close.
Yeah, it's killer.
I mean, I'm thankful for everything.
How long were you in the hospital for?
I didn't have any insurance at the time, so literally, they stitched me up. I took like 50 something dissolvables on the inside.
Mhm.
They had to, because it actually split me open. So they actually had to pull it together, staple it, cauterize it. So they did a bunch
Yeah,
of
like-
internal dissolvable stitches,
right.
and then they did like 12 staples, and then they burned it. It was
Wow.
like I had a burn mark there for a good minute.
Wow.
Wow. But then I woke up the next morning. This happened at 11:30 at night. I got admitted by 12 or whatever, you know. I woke up the next morning at like 8 o'clock. Nurse came in, dropped me 2 Vicodin, said you can leave when you're ready.
Damn.
I was like,
I guess I'm good.
okay.
And then what happened after that?
For
though?
like,
how did it heal? Did you have to go?
Dude,
I
for
mean,
like, I don't know, maybe 6 weeks, I was so weak that I would literally walk down the stairs of my apartment, cross the street to the little vending machine, get like an orange juice, walk back up, and then like sit down on the couch and pass out.
Wow.
And like wake up and my orange juice would be warm.
Hey,
Like,
your body has to build back up to that blood
Wow.
loss.
Yeah,
They're not
'cause
just going to pump you back full of blood.
yeah, I didn't have any insurance, so they didn't give me nothing. They just
Damn.
said
Do you have any stories to add? I mean, fuck.
that was pretty intense. I know, dude. That one's pretty
That
intense.
is intense, man.
But it's given me a sunny disposition about life.
Well, that's great, man.
And that's also what kind of sparked me to change my life and make something of myself.
Oh, well,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
sometimes you need those dramatic things to
Well,
do that.
I
you
know.
for real.
I mean, I know Cameron's got a lifelong story, so he's got tons of stories.
Nice. When are we gonna have you
Whether
on
he
the
wants to talk
podcast?
about him or
Yeah.
not, that's up to him.
Well, you know, yeah, we all have our battles. You know, I'm diabetic, so I got to take insulin shots multiple times.
So
a day,
hereditary
every day.
diabetes 1 or whatever. What do they
One,
call?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, since I was about 2 years
Oh
old.
no shit.
That's why I say he's got a lifelong
Wow.
story.
So every night, you know, it's like,
Wow.
yep.
So did your mom and dad have it, or
Not in my immediate family. I think it might have been down the line
okay.
a little
Just caught the
ways.
gene.
But, yeah.
It sucks,
Wow.
but you're dealing
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah, I mean,
You seem
I feel
healthy.
fortunate. I hear about other cases where people get it later in
Yeah.
life,
Or
and they
others.
had a taste of the good life.
a good
before, you know,
friend of
and-
mine just got it. Old Dogtown skater Jay West, but he's got 2. So I guess that's you kind of bring that on yourself, right? I mean, diet, no exercise.
It can be
so
hereditary,
yeah,
too, but it's more
they say it
commonly
can be
like
hereditary too,
dietary.
man. Yeah. Wow. Everyone's got something, man. You
Yeah,
know what
that-
I'm saying? Everyone's got something.
And that's the other thing too
For
about
sure.
what happened to me was like it made me realize that everybody's vulnerable. Everybody
You know, it's really how you deal with it, man.
Yeah.
For real.
You know, you could have quit skating.
Yeah, I almost
You
did.
could have been bitter. You could have died,
Yeah.
man. You know what I'm saying? But
But
the way you're still thinking of it, though, man, that's the right way to do it, man.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of shit happens to people, and they go the exact opposite way, man.
Oh,
You know,
exactly.
you got to stay strong and fucking take the little nugget out of everything.
gotta be a winner.
man. You got to be a winner, man.
I mean,
as hard as it is.
even if you don't win at everything, you've got to win
Yeah,
at your own life.
Yeah, well, that's part of being a winner.
'Cause
You
that's-
know you're gonna fucking lose once in a while.
Yeah, 'cause
man.
that-
you know what I'm saying.
Well,
It's a good
because
and a
having
bad.
having
And
a
dusting yourself up off that shit and remaining a winner, that's the key.
I mean,
man. That's
having
the
a
key.
near-death experience will make you realize that you really can't control anything,
Yeah,
even your
yeah,
own life.
yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't
Yeah.
control anything.
Fuck, you came close, homeboy.
Because I
You
thought I
came
was in control of my
close.
life.
That's gnarly,
Yeah.
dude.
I thought I was in control of my life.
Yeah.
I thought I was doing what I was supposed to be doing. I was
Right.
having fun. I was
Yeah.
doing what I was doing.
Yeah.
And then one just random idiot
Yeah, when you least
just
expect it.
changed the entire
Right,
course.
right.
You know what I mean? It had nothing to do with what
Right.
I was doing I made the poor decision to pull into the wrong gas station
Yeah,
at the
but
wrong
yeah,
time.
yeah,
You can't put
you
that
can
on
say
yourself.
that.
That's the
but you-
only
but
thing that I can say is my fault is I
Yeah,
pulled into
well-
the wrong station at the wrong time.
You do that on a weekly basis.
And what's shitty about that is, what's crazy is I literally was there's a 2-lane road. I was in the second lane, about to go into the left-hand turn lane to turn onto the street that I lived off of. This liquor store was on the corner, and my buddy, right before I was about to turn in, I was like, "Oh, let me get a pack of smokes." So,
Damn.
slid over real quick, parked
Wow.
in there, and I was chilling in the car because I didn't need anything.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy how quick. it
Wrong
can
place, wrong
happen.
time. That's just like appreciate every fucking
Yeah.
minute you ever
You
get.
know, I was telling him this is crazy. I mean, we'll continue with this before we end up. I saw somebody die on the way here.
Here?
Yeah,
Totally
Car
flipped his
accident?
third time.
Car accident?
Third time in a month. Same thing. How crazy is that? First one, I'm riding my bike on the Iron Horse Trail. Getting my miles in, like we talked about. Car goes over the fucking Jersey barrier, on its fucking head, smash, dude instantly dead. Shout out to Dublin. A couple weeks later, go in the Fremont Skatepark, and there's a long embankment. See a guy just fucking fly off.
You saw it?
Yeah. Oh, and on the way here, just now, no bullshit, same thing.
in the ultimate.
Long fucking right before the 99 coming up the 120. There's just a curb and there's a long drop off. I don't know what the dude was doing. Probably texting. Let's fucking face it. Talking on the phone. Right off. Right on.
Slappy that shit.
Smash. I pull over for a second, but there's enough people pulling over, and I was coming to this thing. I'm all, fuck, third time and fucking... Yeah. How crazy is that?
Yes.
That's
really
fucking nuts,
Be
right?
careful on the road.
Yeah, I know. I think it's
Hands-free,
telling
man.
me, man, don't. Yeah, that's why I got the hands free, man. That
Yeah.
fucking shit's worse than
that's
drunk
real life.
driving, man. Definitely.
Can't see where you're going when you're staring.
But
at
again, man, it could end. What you're saying is the only reason I bring it up.
Life
It's
is
what
precious.
you're saying.
Yeah.
Boom. Anything could change in a second, man. And so keep doing what you're fucking doing. This is fucking awesome as
Yeah.
fuck, man.
I appreciate it.
Seriously.
We appreciate
Seriously,
it.
this
Yeah.
is fucking badass. I had a great time, man. How about you?
I did, yeah.
Yeah,
You guys are killing
you got to
it.
come back,
Yeah, we'll make it happen.
and then you'll
You know,
come
when,
back again too.
well, you know, when I skate with him, you say, "Oh, by the way, you're coming with me tomorrow."
Yeah, I was like, what?
I'm not
That
going
dude's
on
been
my
hitting me
own. He's
up.
like, "Oh, that dude's been hitting me up." I'm all, well, perfect.
Perfect.
That's perfect.
So
You know what I'm saying?
random.
I believe in, sometimes things just happen right.
I thought it was really funny too.
And
He's
you
like,
know
"Oh,
what
I'm
I'm
coming with
saying?
Bruce."
And like, listen, man, I can talk about all my old school shit and tell you even funnier stories, but this is the guy you want on, definitely, man. I mean, definitely.
Well, let's
Definitely.
schedule a date before you guys leave. Let's schedule a date for you guys both to come back, but switch.
Cool. Yeah,
'cause
no,
we did that.
I'd be down.
We
man.
did that with Adam and Skylar.
And seriously, get me some sort of graphic, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can print off 5 boards for you or something,
Dude,
just to
that'd be
have.
sick.
You know what I'm saying?
Because I
Just
put it right
yeah.
here.
Yeah, put it right. That'd be perfect.
That'd be
man.
so
It
sick.
should be YouTube, man. You know, like Cheech and Chong. It should be fucking
so funny, dude.
That would be sick.
Come on, let's do it,
That
Cameron.
would be sick. And you can take the photo. Just send me the photo, man.
All right.
I'll make your photo board. He's all, fuck that.
I'll drink to that.
I can make them all cartoony too, just like the Cheech and Chong.
That
one.
would be sick. That would be sick.
All right, so I guess let's go ahead and wrap it up then.
Cool.
All right.
Good
We
times,
Everybody
fresh
had a good
rhymes.
time. Everybody had
Yeah.
a good time. All right, so let's. We told people how to find you, but let's tell them again. So on Instagram at 4WBS.
Yeah, at
or
4WBS.
at Clutch
If you want
Distribution.
wood, Clutch Distribution, put stuff in the notes. They'll be
Yeah,
able
I'll
to
put
find
I'll
me, man, you
put all
know?
that, and I'll also put a link to your blog.
Yeah,
Because
that's
if
the way to go.
if you're into reading, you're a great
Yeah,
writer.
you'll-
Let me say.
You'll find me if you need to. You know.
I'll put a link to some Pretty Shitty.
Yeah, I've been blasting
His
that
full
out.
length.
You know what I'm doing right
Shecky
now is
LaRue.
I'm putting out all the blogs I did when I first started the website, and then I'm going to start heavy on the new stuff.
Right on.
So check out all the old stuff. And
Yeah, go
then
look at his
be
Instagram.
prepared for the new stuff.
There's a bunch
man.
of different Pretty Shitty
And,
posts.
and if anything, you see us out skating, come hang out with us, man.
Yeah.
You
come
know
say
what
hi.
I mean? And if you're a ripper and you're in the Bay Area and you want some photos or to film and you want to hang out with us, man,
Hit them up.
let's hit me up, man.
Skateboarding's all love. We're all a community.
That's it right there. That's a good way to end it.
And then if you want to find Adam, it's at Emeryboard, EMERYBORED.
Yep.
Like you're
that's
bored?
Me. Yep, bored. Scrolling through the feed.
We looked over his nug part, which you'll come back on and we'll talk again.
Oh, yeah.
We'll talk a little bit more in depth on that. Yeah, all right. So you can find them there. We've been About That Ender. You can find us on Instagram, SoundCloud, YouTube, Facebook, iTunes, all that fun jazz. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe, tell us how we're doing, all that. I've been your host, Keith, audio wizard, Mr. Cameron. And
Shout out to Cameron.
we're out.